Yo, hello. All right,
Yeah,
perfect. Live ready. If you're out there, make sure to keep
I
on
haven't
double tap.
started yet.
Or make sure to follow. If you're a theist, be sure to request on up. We love to have you here.
I'm not live yet.
Fuck. I was embarrassing. You just embarrassed. What the fuck? Negative a trillion or a holy.
Number way too. These settings are too high. What do you mean they're too high? Shut the fuck up.
Nihilus, you have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu?
I don't know what that means.
The fucking Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, the goddamn Nintendo Switch Pokemon, Red, whatever the fuck, Yellow remake.
I don't know much about Pokemon.
Fuck, do you have a Nintendo Switch?
No.
Fuck, never mind.
I'm gonna get a Nintendo Switch 2 though.
Ew.
Well, okay.
I have the Nintendo Switch Zelda edition, so I'm not upgrading for a very long time because I'm like ore farming with this.
Well, they're releasing like a
I know.
Bloodborne thing, and I want.
What?
It's like
I
a
love
new
Bloodborne.
Nintendo. It's a new Nintendo exclusive. That's basically just Bloodborne,
I love
but
Bloodborne.
it's for the Nintendo Switch 2.
I love Bloodborne.
I know. I've never played Bloodborne because I don't have a PS4 or a
It's so
PS5,
fire.
but it
It's so
looks
fire.
gas.
I remember my friend, I fucking stole his like PS5 for like 2 weeks and fucking played Bloodborne, and like I stole his copy of Bloodborne and like played it for 2 weeks. I was like so addicted.
That sounds fucking awesome. I'm really jealous of that.
So like, give me that shit. I fucking snatched it.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat for lunch.
You mean breakfast?
I mean, sure, I guess breakfast.
Yeah, but he thought he was like cooking with that, like using wrong terminology. What do you think it means to break your fast, Nihilus, huh?
To eat something.
Yeah, that's what it means to break your fast, and like obviously lunch wouldn't be that. Dumb fuck, dude. If I like didn't have responsibilities, I'd be sleeping for like 12 hours a day.
Is that real? That might be real. I don't know. I don't know if I could sleep for 12 hours a day. That seems a little long. But hey, if you're coming into the live and you want to come up on stage, more than happy to have you. You
Yep,
just have to be above the age of 18 and have an argument for why God exists.
yep.
And make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff.
Also, be sure to click that follow button while you're at it, so you get notified every time we Nihilus goes live.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's all you gotta do. Like, that's not difficult at all.
Yeah, seems pretty straightforward.
So nice to have all you people here. So nice. Remember to keep on double tapping. Keep on double tapping. Like your life depends on it. Your life does depend on it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have you all here. Just, of course, make sure you're double tapping on that screen, trying to get the live out there, share it with your friends. And if you have an argument for why God exists and are above the age of 18, then request on up.
Yep. Dude, how much storage do you have? Like, you have so many Rex, bro.
I have like 3 terabytes.
Oh, hell no.
And then I have like a bigger external hard drive. I think it's like 4 terabytes.
How many? How much storage do you need? What the fuck?
Well, I use it for other things. So
To get all in one PC. Use it for the do you use it for the JWs?
well, I usually just keep all of my video material on the external hard drive. and that way
Oh,
I
so you
can.
keep all the JWs on the external hard drive,
Yeah,
just to be like clear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all gonna be external. But I see a lot of people joining.
Oh,
If you
that's
guys are new here, we're happy to have you. Just make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, trying to get that live out there, doing all that good stuff. And if you are above the age of 18 and you have an argument for why God exists, then request on up and we can have a good faith, linear, progressive, dialectical discourse together.
yep. Do I need to get like, bro? I need to buy some liquid death, bro. I need to like, I
I,
need
s-
that.
I saw,
I love like the shitty taste of the water.
I've
Like
never had liquid assist.
the water tastes like ass. But
Really?
like there's it's like something about it. Yeah, you like pay for the experience for like some shitty water. Like the water's like mid. But, like I like unironically would still pay for it.
I always see people glazing it. Thought it was
It's
better.
not that good. It's not like glaze worthy. Like unironically, it's like if you're gonna get liquid death at that point, just get like Fiji water. Um, right.
Yeah.
But it's like it's I mean it's good, right? I mean it's not that good. It's like okay, but it's not like the best. It's like better waters.
What's your favorite water?
I'm like super biased towards Fiji to be honest. Actually, I've like I used to like I really like well water. I've had well water a couple of times.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
That's so happy for you, Jace. Um, so good for you. But sadly, that's not going to be like some sort of argument to prove theism to be true. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, he's gone. Wait, I'm gonna let people up. I don't even have live. Okay, it's fine. Make sure to keep on double tapping. From geographical evidence. I mean, if you want to like come up in the guest request and like prove said geographical evidence, I think we'd all me and Niles would be more than happy to debate you on that. The creator of the cosmos and the universe historical evidence. There's like a bunch of problems with this, right? Moral absolutes. No, there isn't gonna be any type of moral absolute in the world, right? And this is gonna be because all morals are like gonna be mind dependent. Nothing's gonna be mind independent. Even if you follow some type of divine command theory, obviously you wouldn't have some like more realist account. Simply because your morals are still gonna be like grounded within a mind. Now that mind is immutable, that doesn't change anything. These are arguments from level 0. The creator of the cosmos and the universe. Historical evidence. Yeah. So we don't believe that something came from nothing, and like the fine tuning, the quote unquote fine tuning of the universe doesn't prove anything because we could just account for more parsimonious hypotheses, right? Um, and historical evidence. You just have to name the historical evidence that we have. We're referring to a class. Referring to Alan Me Boy. Yep.
But if
Because I make sure to reach out. Oh, you're back now. That's
yeah, sorry,
perfect.
Alan, if you want
Yeah.
to
So
come
now,
on
if you
up,
really
I'm
want
gonna
to, now's your chance to come request on up because the guy that controls everything. The Bible. Wait, do you take the wait? Wait, yeah. So why should I care about like some yeah KJ? Oh, dude,
It's
no,
even
no, definitely
worse.
not KJV, right? KJV is like one of the worst translations ever. There's like two like special education Baptists that use it, and apparently you're like one of the two, right? So KJV is like going to be like one of the worst translations ever, right? And I think it's like pretty funny that you mentioned KJV, because like no one takes it seriously, and like any type of like academic, um
Alan,
Christian worldview.
Alan, come on. You can request on up and tell us the historical
Yeah.
evidence for Jerusalem. I'd be more than happy to hear it. Like, are you? I don't know really what you're referring to. Are you talking about like how Jerusalem's a city? Are you talking about some events that took place in Jerusalem? Like you just have to be more specific, and it'd probably be more beneficial if you just came on up. But make sure you're double tapping on that screen. Share it with your friends, especially if they are a God believer. We would love to talk
Yep.
to them.
Um, Go look in historical evidence. Yeah, there's like none at all. There's like no historical evidence for theism being true. And the KJV, for anyone who are watching, never read King James version. There's like two like stupid Baptists that still use it. But like when we look at like any other like church ever, not even the Calvinists hold the KJV.
Well,
Most like if you're gonna read NRSVUE, read RSV. Just like stay away from the KJV and KJV because they're like super outdated. They're like super sloppy translations.
Any
Made by like some schizophrenic king.
any reputable Bible college or seminary is going to probably just hand you the NRSV or probably like the Catholic Study
Yeah,
Bible, depending on what you're going to, which is also a good translation. The
yeah.
KJV, it's just like it's basically just I think it's like there was
It's just like
already
super sloppy.
yeah it
I've
was
done the trouble of reading it to you for you people. So, trust me, just like don't read KJV. It's like one of the worst translations of all time.
read the New World
Like no one about
Translation.
it.
Jehovah's Witnesses got it 100% correct. They probably have the best translation of the Bible. It's 10 times better than the NRSVU. NRSV is basically just dog shit compared to the New World Translation. Because clearly it teaches the true version of God, the Unitarian version of God, the one true
This
God
is
and His
KJV
Son.
super sloppy. Have you never read it? Wait, like have you like compared KJV to any of the other like magnificent translations of the Bible? Yes, KJV is super sloppy. That's why like no church uses it. That's why no like denomination of like church is like no denomination of like Christianity uses it except like maybe 2 Baptists and like 3 like non-denominational like regards, right?
Or fine assuming. Well,
What do
I
you mean
mean,
assuming? Are you talking about like our beliefs? Like if you're talking about beliefs, we believe in lots of things.
my,
But we don't follow like any type of religion specifically.
um, well, yeah. What John said, I don't find any particular religion convincing. Albeit, I will admit that I haven't spent a lot of time digging into a lot of other like non-mainstream religions. So I'd probably be agnostic to them just because I haven't, looked into them. Um, but I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I know they're bullshit. I've done a lot of work with the
Are we
Christians.
just yapping? No, obviously not, right? No. So what we're doing is we're like getting the words of like any type of like section of Christianity, and none of them will ever recommend you like if they're serious. None of them will ever recommend you any type of like KJV ever. And the reason is because KJV is like super bad, right? And it's gonna be supported via like no modern church, no modern denomination using it, right? Yeah, wait, just to be like crystal clear, do you not think like the Orthodox people, the Catholics, like, do you not think like them saying like we do not recommend the KJV, we recommend the RSV or the Catholic Study Bible? Do you not think that like leads some sort of credibility towards like which Bible like we should read, especially if we follow one of these denominations?
But I don't mind. We don't mind answering like comments. But like,
Yeah.
if you are a theist, like we would much more prefer if you just came up and had a
Yeah,
conversation with
so
us first.
Alan Meeboy, I'm gonna answer this question. So I think I don't know if not but I'd be very sympathetic towards like a Hinduism or like a Buddhist worldview, like any type of like Eastern Asian religion, because these will have to do with like some type of pantheism. Like every single East Asian religion has to do with some kind of pantheism.
Pantheist.
Yeah, and I'm really like super sympathetic towards pantheism.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, when you look at like pantheist religions, like the Norse gods and the Greek
No,
gods.
no, no, definitely not. Not every single religion has like gonna have a similar story. We can take like the Buddhist account. They won't have like the same lore that like Christianity is gonna have. Or we can take like the Hindu religion and things like that. Obviously not. Maybe like maybe like every Western religion. But if you go to like other parts of the world that aren't like super Western, um, no, definitely not. God proves his evidence on the geographical evidence we found on Earth.
Like, if you mean sorry, if you mean like if they're similar, as in like like they talk about like creation events or like things of that nature. Well, I mean that's just gonna be like expected because of like these people
Yeah.
like have beliefs in these specific deities. Obviously, they're gonna have some sort of like idea of how these deities created like everything, right? So it doesn't surprise me that they all have like similar stories in that respect, but I would probably need some more clarification on what you mean by they have similarities. Do we have academic credentials in this area? Uh, like as in, I wouldn't say so. No, I
I
don't
mean, but
know.
like, what's gonna be like the relevance at all, right? Because like obviously like, we can see how like no like denomination uses like the KJV. like I've already given you like a plethora of different explanations on why the KGV sucks. Like via like what the church people think, and you're like actively right way.
I
Like
mean,
from the explanations I've given.
well,
The pool of Siloam, Noah's Ark, David's. Wait, you realize that like Noah's Ark like can't like physically happen. Like it's impossible.
yeah,
We don't have enough water on Earth for even to have like mass flood. That's why like a lot of Catholics see like Genesis to be some sort of like a metaphor, right? Or like now you're gonna have to prove that Noah's Ark really did happen, right?
yeah, with the flood we have a lot of
Oh,
issues.
you have to prove that
Like,
Noah's Ark really did happen, right?
Yeah, with the flood we have a
wait,
lot
wait,
of
sorry.
issues.
I think we
Oh,
have a.
perfect. Can you fix your lag?
I think we have a
I think we have
Can
an
you
echo
fix your
coming
lag
from you, motivator.
or
we
the
have an
echo
echo coming from you, motivator.
or the echo? Hello, hello.
No,
No,
motivator, we cannot hear
motivator, we
you.
cannot.
You're just like there's an echo coming from your side.
Yeah, there's just like an echo on your side. Also, make sure to keep on double tap intellectual,
Yeah.
ontological stupidity. Proves God or being like, serious right now, what's going on?
Motivator, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how old are you?
26.
Okay, and
Perfect.
do
What's
you
gonna
want
be
to
your best
provide?
argument for theism being true?
Say that one more time.
What's gonna be your argument for theism being true?
Oh, it's kind of breaky.
Like
Can't
what is
really
going to
hear.
be your argument for why God exists?
Uh, the the evidence of on the evidence that we find that we have found, the geographical evidence that the stories in the Bible, they actually happened if we were even able to find proof of said things happening. Okay,
Okay, so
so
let's pick.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
We're gonna go with Sodom and Gomorrah. All
Okay.
right.
Okay, that's the one we're going with. You're not gonna pivot, right?
I'm
Perfect.
not pivoting.
Perfect. Not said you're not going to, right? I agree that you're not pivoting. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So if you
So
just want to give your argument for Solomon, like the evidence by Solomon and Gomorrah, feel free. Now's your
Sodom
chance.
and Gomorrah. All right. So there was a guy, and there was a whole documentary on it a few years ago, and he was trying to find the evidence of the Bible, and he chose Sodom and Gomorrah. Obviously, if there was if Sodom and Gomorrah did happen, there would be evidence, because in the book it writes that God rained down brimstone and fire from the sky and gave them their own personal Armageddon because of how bad they were.
Hmm.
You got to be pretty bad if God, the creator of the universe, is saying, "All right, it's time for you guys to go." You got to be pretty bad, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but so like, what is the evidence for it actually happening?
So, it they wrote that there was fire and brimstone, and that
And
there
sorry,
was
where are these writings?
writings. There's this documentary on it, and they also found um, sulfur balls. They found balls of almost pure sulfur, and I forget the other chemical that was in it. Um, but they found balls of pure sulfur where there was a water runoff or a kind of a dried up riverbed. They found it in the soot.
Yeah. What's this documentary?
Say that again.
Where's the documentary?
The documentary. I go look at it right now.
Yeah, and tell me like who were like the scientists how were all in there. They were like, damn, this correlates with the Bible.
Yeah, like I mean, I am just kind of like So they found sulfur balls. Like, did they find it at where Sodom and Gomorrah was supposed to be? Like, just what is the
Let me
significance of them
see.
finding the sulfur balls? But
Yo, wait, Monkey Boy? What is Monkey Boy doing here? Hey, Monkey Boy, listen. Like I am nihilist. Like I'm the one running it. Like it's just one of us. It's only one person here. Like it's the exact same voice.
yeah, motivator. Like I hate to be that guy, but if we're gonna need to hear something from you, I'm gonna have to take you down.
Creation and miracles. All right, let's look up this documentary.
Because
Oh,
I do have another person in my guest request box. But why don't you come back up when you have the evidence, and then we'll let you back up, no problem. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing with your friends, doing all that amazing
profound
stuff.
miracle demonstrate divine power of God beyond supernatural laws, and miracles are often.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up the next
Oh,
guest.
wait. Oh, that was his argument. I thought it was like a documentary. Oh no, it is his documentary name. I don't see any documentary named that. Hey man, how old are you?
Yes, I'm 54.
Okay, perfect. What's gonna be your best argument for theism being true? Monkey Boy.
Well, I think there's a
I
lot
do
of
not
good
sound sympathetic.
arguments.
Yeah, give
there's
one.
a lot of good arguments. I like to use the ontological intelligibility argument.
Yeah, what's gonna be premise one?
Well, first we have to define God, right? Because I don't know what God you're.
Yeah, we're just gonna go under
introducing to us is.
we're gonna go like classical theism, the God that you follow, right?
Sure. So if we define God as, let's say, an intelligent agent that has the power and ability to instantiate all states of affairs and is not a created being, and in other words, never had a beginning, uh, you don't believe that God exists, right?
No, I don't believe no.
Because why? You don't see any evidence for that God?
Because there's gonna be like no sound argument for that, for there being an agent that created the universe, right? And that's gonna be like
But
one of
what
the things
there's
that
going to be
God did.
what? What
There's gonna be
what did
no
you just say?
argument, no sound argument.
How do you know there's not going to be any sound argument?
Because every single argument like I've been handed, the arguments is like they haven't been sound. Most of the time the person can even make it past premise one, right?
But even if you've heard arguments that you consider not to be sound, that doesn't mean there aren't any arguments.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'll be like crystal clear then. Yeah, there probably aren't any arguments that are sound.
Well, okay, so let's probe into this then. So
Wait, but do you have an
in order
argument?
for
Yes
you
or
to have
no?
it, yes, yes. So in order for you to have an argument, it would require evidence and proof, right?
Using a syllogism in which the premises are true and it's valid in form.
Yeah, well, anybody can put it out, but there would have to be evidence and proof. Otherwise, they're just putting forth an opinion, right?
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't see why I'd grant you that. But if you don't have an argument, I'm like super sorry.
You
Like I
don't.
don't care about
Wait, you
like
don't
the
see. You said you
questioning.
don't see why you'd grant me that.
I don't see a problem with it. But if you don't have an argument, I don't see like the point of like keeping you up here because you're just like not giving an argument.
No, I said I do have an argument. But
Okay,
I
then
want
give
to
the
know that
argument then.
with regards to an argument that you would say is a valid argument rather than the invalid
Yeah,
arguments that
so a
you're saying are
formally
valid,
valid argument is going to be an argument that entails some sort of inference rule.
and would require evidence and proof, right?
No, inference rules aren't about the contents of the argument. They're about the formation of the format of the argument. You don't need like some
Even
sort
if
of proof
you
for an inference
okay,
rule.
so if you had formulation for an argument, but there wasn't any evidence or proof for the argument,
Wait, do you know what
and
an
you simply
inference rule
said
is?
you just told me.
Wait, but do you know what inference rule is? Like, could you tell
Yeah,
me
you
what
just
inference
told
rule
me.
is?
I just repeated it back to you. I
No, can
repeated
you like give me
exactly
like
what
a
you said.
definition?
You just gave me the definition. I just
Yeah, so I
repeated
want
it
you to
back
repeat
to you.
the. Yeah, can you repeat the definition? I didn't give you a definition. Like, I didn't give you a definition.
Well, you told me that's what it is. You told
No,
me
I
something
said
incorrect.
no. What I told you is that for an argument to be formally valid, it needs an inference rule.
Okay, so for it to be valid, okay, so what is an inference rule? What does it
Yeah. Okay.
comprise of?
Perfect. Yeah. So inference rule is just a rule by which the sort of premises is connected to the conclusion in such a way where the conclusion follows from the premises.
Okay, but let's say you have something like that, but it doesn't exist in reality. Is it a valid argument?
It would be formally valid, but it wouldn't be sound because the sound argument is just going to be like if all the premises are true, and if the like and if it's formally valid, that's what a sound argument is. Like it would be formally valid, it just wouldn't be sound.
Uh-huh. Now, in order for for it to be a valid argument, though, then the argument would have to be putting forth truth claims, right?
Premises. Yeah.
Truth premises, right? And
Okay.
they would have
I
to be
think
justified,
it's just
right?
easiest that if you think you have evidence for theism, just like communicate the evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that, but he brought up this stuff about inferences, so I'm questioning
Well,
that.
if you don't have it in deductive form, we're fine with it conveyed in like natural language.
Yeah. So with regards to this inference rule or whatever, you would agree that these premises have to be justified, right?
We're just look, what is the evidence you have there's a God?
Yes, I'm speaking to the other individual. He brought up this inference rule, so I'm
Yeah.
probing into that.
Yeah, but well, that was
'Cause
that
I want to
just
make sure that
talking
my
about
argument follows his inference rule. So I'm trying to understand
Well,
this
here's a
inference
no,
rule.
no. Okay,
well,
so we just like granted you like the argument doesn't have to be like you don't have to put in like a like deductive syllogism format. You can just use it in like natural language, right?
Well, that's fine. I'll use natural language, but I want to know with regards to any premises I put forth, they would have to be justified, right? In order for it to be a valid argument in your view, correct?
Yeah. 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 Whatever.
Okay. Great. So I'll do that. So not with regards to the set of all things, but only the set of things that you perceive to exist. How did you determine that those things is not evidence for the God that I defined
wait,
earlier?
but look, oh my God. We just want you to communicate what you think the evidence is for
Okay.
theism.
Okay. I brought up. Okay. I brought up the God that I defined earlier, and I'm simply going ahead and asking you, nihilist. Now, if I'm going to get dog food, uh, uh, dog pile. I'm not going to stay. Okay. I'm trying to have a mature conversation. I'm talking to Nihilist. I'm not talking to Monkey Boy. Now, if Monkey Boy wants to respond to me after I make the argument for God, I'd be happy to hear his response.
Yeah. Do you
No,
take a
But
we
question to be an
just
argument?
I came up to speak to you,
the point
Nihilist.
is
No, this is
that we
perfect.
just
No. Go ahead.
what I was doing is just making sure we know what we're doing in the conversation. What was asked was for you to communicate evidence, and
Yes,
instead
and
you
I'm
just
happy to do
raised a
that.
question.
Well, I'm
Yeah, so
happy to do that.
that was the point of me
Sure, I'm happy
speaking
to
there
do
to
that.
inform you that that question's not what we're looking for. So
Well,
just
I'm
communicate the
having a
evidence.
conversation with Nihilist right now, and I'm going
Yeah, I'm gonna
to
tell you the
show
exact
with
same thing.
regards
Do you
to
take an argument to be a question? Because when we say argument, we're not asking you to ask questions, right?
Okay. Are you willing to answer my questions? Yes or no? If not,
No,
I'll leave because if
not right
I can
now.
get,
Not until
I
you
can
get
Look,
some sort of
actually,
evidence.
we
in order
can
for me to
answer the
know, in order for me
questions
to know,
after.
in order for me to know that you're understanding my argument, I have to ask you some questions so that I can know that we're on the same page.
Yeah, you can ask me the questions after you give the argument, right?
Well, I need to know that we're on the same page in order to give the argument. If
It's
you
fine.
don't
I'll
want to
grant you
answer
whatever
my
you want.
questions,
I will literally grant you
just tell
whatever
me
you
and I'll
want.
leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you
So
don't have
I
an
just need
argument,
to ask
yeah,
you. Yeah, so can I ask you a few questions so that I can
not at this
see that we're
present
on the
moment,
same
no.
page, and then
Not
okay, then goodbye.
okay. Bye bye,
Wow, that was so
dude.
deep.
Like they're like do they not read said prove God exists? Like, do they think a question like some sort of argument? Also make sure to
Or is
keep
he
on
still in
double
here?
tapping.
Bring him back up. Maybe I
No,
can.
I think he might have left. But there's someone else
He
in the
left.
guest
Yeah.
request box.
Yeah, we're bringing the next
Yeah.
guy up now. Just make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing with your friends, and
Yeah.
please only request if you have an argument for why God exists.
Wait, Razors.
Yo,
Hey,
Nihilus,
Razors.
bro,
What's gonna be
wait,
your argument for theism being true?
yeah, the argument for theism being true is just look at the trees, bro. Wait, do you hear like background noise or no?
Yeah, I do. Are you like at a frat party right now? Like, are your kids here?
No, I'm at my resort in Cancun right now, bro. Is it like too annoying?
No, it's fine. Yeah. So wait, look at the
Alright,
trees. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. What does this prove?
yeah, okay. stop, stop fucking with me. Can I stay up here for a bit?
Yeah, definitely. If you want.
Alright, for sure.
I mean, that's
Granted,
gonna be up to Nihilist. I'm not the host. I'm not the one like hosting this. If like the host is okay with that, we're just like I'm
Well, he's
trying to like find theists so I can give some sort of argument.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna stay
Yeah.
up here for a bit.
Yeah. Make sure that if you're in the comment section to keep on double tapping. If you want to come up and have a debate, feel free to come up. Oh, we have someone in the guest request box already. Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, Monk, how's it going?
Hey man, how
What's
are you?
going on, man? I'm doing good, man.
How old are you?
You said how old I am or how am I?
How old are you?
Oh, 19 years old.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Wait. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna be giving the modal ontological argument for God. Are you aware of that?
S5 axiom? No. Oh wait. Yeah. It's just like if there's gonna be like some necessary being, that can possibly exist, and that necessary being is God, and then God is just gonna exist, right?
Of course, yeah. So I can formally give a syllogism for this. So, like, if there's a maximally
Yeah.
great being, there's no logical contradictions with this. This would be premise one.
Mhm.
Premise two is that a maximally great being entails necessary existence, which just means that if
Mhm.
it's no logical contradictions, then he would have to exist in all worlds.
Mhm.
Premise three, if he exists in one possible world due to his necessity, which is entailed within maximal greatness, he would have to exist in
Mhm.
our world. Conclusion: God is real. My inference rule is modens potens. If Q, then P, P, then Q.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like, I'll just be like crystal clear. What God are you like arguing for? Because it's gonna be like, if like, let's say let's say Brad Pitt. Let's say Brad Pitt is like the maximally like great being. Well, like he'd be God then, like hypothetically, if he was like a
Yeah, I would. I
maximally
don't
great
think
being.
that Brad Pitt could be the maximally great being.
Yeah, I know.
Brad Pitt's
Oh,
not temporal between the five omni attributes. Hasn't
By
created.
oh,
me,
omni
by
attributes.
God, by
Yeah, that's
God,
what
you just
maximal.
mean
That's what
like an
maximal greatness
agent
is.
that created the universe, right?
Yeah, with the five omni attributes and has necessary
And
existence with rationality.
but what does maximal greatness there mean?
Yeah, that's what it is. Maximal great being is it's going to entail the five omni attributes, rationality, desires, and creation.
Okay, but those properties don't entail that being logically necessary.
I never argued they did. I said a maximally great being entails a necessary existence. By
Right.
definition, the
That's
concept of a
exact.
maximally great
That
being is
what
created.
you just
Yeah,
said.
so
That's not what you're saying, and then repeated the thing that you said you weren't saying.
yeah, I
To
don't know if
say
there's a
that it
second.
entails logical necessity, that in it entails that it exists, and that's logically necessary is exactly what I said.
Yeah,
I said that it
so
doesn't
that's
follow
not
from
what you
that
said.
it's logically necessary that it
You said
exists.
it. Yeah,
And
you
then
said it
you
doesn't
said
follow
it
from the attributes
entails
that
that
I've
it
listed.
exists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said from
that's
the attributes that I listed. I never argued that it's entailed from the attributes. I argue that it's entailed from the being. A maximally great being isn't only prohibited
wait,
to its attributes; it's prohibited to its
you just
creation.
said
So because it's atemporal and it created
you
the
just said
universe,
maximal greatness
why are
is
you
those
interrupting me? Why are
properties.
you interrupting me? No, I did not. I
You
said maximally greatness entails the five omni attributes, and I listed a plurality
then
of other
what?
things. I said rationality, a will,
Okay,
and
wait.
creation.
So can I get okay? Yeah, but those none of those entail necessary existence.
Yeah, I can argue that they do.
Okay, sure.
So, so the concept of a maximally great being creating a universe would entail it being atemporal, not dependent upon anything else, and because of its rationality, it would have to have designed the universe. Therefore, if we're looking at something like this, no matter what the properties of the universe is, God were to have created the universe. So, in any possible world, according to let's just say logical possible worlds here. When I say possible world, it would mean that he would be necessary in those worlds, the same way 2 + 2 = 4 is necessary. So
That
because this
just
is
doesn't
atemporal
follow.
yeah, so what
So
does it
you
mean?
want to
What does it
say
mean for something to be necessary?
just well to say something is logically necessary is to say that a formal line logic is true in every model. Now, it's clearly not true that that to say that okay, so you think there's a being that has these set of properties that is causally dependent for the existence of the universe. That's not a theorem of logic. So it's just not true in every model.
Yeah.
Logical
Well,
necessity is
yeah,
when
so
some
I
formula is a
disagree.
theorem of the logic.
Yeah, I disagree. So when we're talking about necessities in terms of its
Well,
existence,
hold on.
if
When
we
you
would
say you disagree, what is the proposition you're disagreeing with?
I disagree with your description of what it means to be logically necessary being applied to what I mean here when I say necessary. If that's what you mean by
Wait,
logically necessary,
hold on.
then
You disagree with what?
your description of what entails logical necessity being applied onto a maximally great being. That's not what I'm
So
doing here.
you're
I'm not
saying
applying
you
that.
disagree. I don't even understand what that means. You just mean, because it makes no sense that to say that you disagree with the way I define a word. I
I
mean,
never
also
said
this is
that.
how
I
it's
said
standardly
wait, did
defined.
I ever say
So
that? Wait, did I ever say I disagreed with your definition?
that's what it seemed like you were saying. If I'm
Well,
wrong, you
listen,
can
if it
correct
seems
me.
like that, you're gonna have to wake up and drink some Sunny D, man. Open your ears and your eyes real quick. I said I disagree with your description of logical necessity being applied to the being that I'm describing here. And I was gonna tell you why, but you keep
What?
interrupting me with this. What are you saying? What's happening? If you're confused, you have to allow me to speak so I can help you. Okay? Just ask for clarification. It's that simple. So when I say something is necessary, it means no matter what the properties of the universe is, it doesn't have to be any sort of logical
You're
format, right?
talking about logical necessity, right?
Okay, why are you interrupting me? I did not interrupt you.
I'm asking a clarifying question.
Um,
Are you talking about
Clarifying
logical
questions
necessity?
being asked and repeat in a plurality is just flat out fallacious formally.
I don't care. I'm asking. Look, I'm
Wait, you're
asking
being
the
formally
mode.
fallacious. You're operating external to my dialect or norms. How do you not care about that? I would not. I would never. I wouldn't like to
Formally
engage with you. If you're being,
fallacious.
yes, you're being formally fallacious. You're steamrolling a plurality of clarifying questions that I've already answered. You're not.
Steamrolling. That's not a formal fallacy. That's an informal fallacy. And I'm not
What are you
steamrolling.
talking about? I
I'm
never said
asking
it was
one
a formal
question.
fallacy.
You,
So being fallacious
this.
in any
I
way
mean, this
would be
guy is
being
just like
formally.
a troll. I mean,
Wait, what? Citing a logical
you
fallacy,
said I'm
a formal
being
fallacy.
formally fallacious.
Yeah,
I
hold on.
said that steamrolling is
Citing
not a
a
formal
logic. Yeah,
fallacy.
what it
Then
means
you
to be
just
formally
followed that up with
fallacious.
saying I never said you're being formally
Yeah,
fallacious.
no, I did
You're
not.
like
I said I never said that
such
that
a
was a formal
joke.
fallacy. I have a screen recording. What are you talking
Then
about?
what does it?
Do you have
So
tism or something? Listen to me.
I'm being. I mean, I
So
don't know
what
if
it
host wants
means,
to keep this
hold
guy
on.
up, but
What it means to be formally fallacious is to
like
do
it's just
anything
rhetoric. He's
external to
not
my
really
diet.
interested in
Hold on.
engaging.
You're not. I'm trying to speak to you, and you're
Yeah,
talking.
I'll mute him for a sec if you want to clarify.
I mean, now he's just doing meta and he's just like playing games. He said that I'm
What?
being formally fallacious, and then he said the thing I did was not a formal fallacy. So I don't even know what he's saying. He's just like
Yeah, I was
clearly
just gonna
he's
explain to you what it
clearly
means.
non-genuine. But I just want to get clear so we can avoid the meta. Are you saying is the modality here logical modality? It's just a
Hold on,
yes or no.
monkey.
Can
I
you
could answer
can
you.
you just say yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so
So
when you say God is necessary, or you're saying that what you want to say is God is a theorem of logic.
that's not what I want to say, monkey.
The
So I'm gonna
existence
go
of God's
back
a
to what
theorem of logic.
stop interrupting me. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying earlier. When you're being
So
formally
what do you
fallacious, it means to
wait?
do anything
Hold
external to
on.
my
So you
dialect
want
or
to say
norms.
that
If you
God?
keep
Wait, we're not
interrupting me, I'm not gonna
talking.
have a conversation with you,
We're
monkey.
not.
I'm not gonna have a
We're
conversation.
not.
Look, I'm
We're
not
not.
interested in
I don't
engaging with you if
care
you're being
about the
fallacious.
meta. Look, I'm trying to
What?
understand. You want to say that God's existence is necessary logically, and I asked you. So you are of the belief that the existence of God is a theorem of logic, and then you said no, right? So now it just
Monkey.
seems like you're contradicting
You're straw
yourself.
manning me. You're straw manning me. I'm being muted on the panel. I'm not gonna
I'm just
engage with you.
quoting what you
You're
said.
being
Now you're just
fallacious. You're
contradicting
falsely
yourself.
quoting what I'm saying. You're steamrolling over me. You're shotgunning, and you're
What
spamming
was
a
the
plurality
false
of
quote I
clarification
said?
questions. You're being formally fallacious right now. I'm not going to engage with you if you're working outside of my dialectal norms. What is wrong with you?
What is the
I'm telling you,
misquote?
the misquote is when you said I'm arguing that God is logically necessary. That's not what my argument is. I said that a maximally
I
great
literally
being
asked
tells.
you.
Okay,
No,
monkey.
I
I'm not talking to
literally
you.
hold
I'm
on.
not talking anymore. If
I
anyone else wants to
literally
talk to me,
I
I'm not
literally
talking to you.
asked you. Okay,
Listen,
I
if
literally
you
asked
cannot
you.
control yourself
I
from interrupting me, I'm not going
can
to
we
talk to you
have
anymore.
Yeah,
him
we'll take
stop?
him down for now.
He's clearly just not. Yeah, don't. I wouldn't bring him back. He's one of those like trolls. He's probably like one of those anime debaters. Clearly seemed like one.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't.
Anyways, make sure to keep on double tapping and make sure to drop a follow, share it to your friends, and if you're a theist, feel free to come on up. And I think that's like Monk Getter. I swear that's him.
yeah, and just make sure you're following everybody on the panel as well. And yeah, if you want to come up onto the live, you just need to bring an argument for why God exists and be above the age of 18.
Is
Yep,
this like
only
a
two
stream
things.
or how's there two people talking?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Oh, and we're like the same person, right? Like we're the exact same.
Yeah, you ever
person.
seen Fight Club? It's kind of like that.
Oh wait, we got a person here, so make sure to accept them.
Let's bring him on up. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen while we have the next guest up.
How are you guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, what's gonna be your argument for theism being true?
My argument's basically the Elliot argument.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Didn't hear you.
My argument's basically the Elliot argument.
Okay.
It's basically a position that leaves you with two incorrect options. Must be incorrect. That's premise one.
Yeah.
Premise two.
Could
Premise.
you tell everyone here the
What?
argument? Can you tell us all the
No,
argument? I don't know what the Elliot argument is. Can you tell me the
The
argument?
main argument, the premise one, is a position that leaves you two incorrect options is incorrect. Premise two, atheism is a position that leaves you with two incorrect options. My conclusion to these two premises is atheism is incorrect, therefore God exists. God necessarily exists.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, Kevin, do you feel this guy?
yeah, definitely. So it was just gonna be the argument for like premise two.
What do you mean? What's the argument for premise two?
Yeah, you said atheism is gonna be like some sort of a thing that leaves you with like two like false
No,
positions.
atheism is a position that leaves you
Yeah.
with two incorrect options, and it's
Yeah.
impossible to come up with a third option. So,
Yeah, so I
due
want the
to
two incorrect
atheism- Hold on,
options.
let me finish. Due to the atheism, the position that leaves you with two incorrect options, what's it called? The conclusion to that second premise, atheism is incorrect, therefore God necessarily exists.
Yeah, I know that.
We're asking what's the
for premise
argument for
two.
P2.
Yeah, I'm not asking
You
you
just
to
repeated
argument.
P2.
Yeah, put premise 2 at the end of a syllogism as its conclusion and
Yeah.
justify premise 2.
Yeah, that's all we're asking for.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Yeah, so if I say like if I say premise one, if I have hyperbolism gets a body this mind, then God probably doesn't exist. Premise of hyperbolism gets a body this mind, conclusion God probably doesn't exist. And you asked me to give an argument for P2 of that. I'd probably say something like, hey, yeah, this is gonna be analytically true that my priors are gonna align with my bias. I'd probably say something like that. Or like name any argument ever. You have to like defend the premises of the argument, or else the premises are gonna be unjustified.
So which premise is unjustified?
Premise 2. That's like the premise in question right now.
Premise
Like that's
two
we're asking for an argument for premise 2.
Why is premise
You
two
find P2
unjustified?
controversial, right? So we just
Why
want to know if you have a
premise two,
defense for it.
What makes it unjustified? What makes premise two
Well,
unjustified?
well, the point is that it's seemingly unjustified because you
You're
haven't
not proving it, you're just
communicated the
saying it.
justification.
Yeah, we're not necessarily saying that it's unjustified, but we want. Okay, what is unjustified? Because you haven't provided like justification for
Unjustified means
premise
an
2 being
argument.
true.
Unjustified means something that's wrong. Something you're saying
Well,
that position necessarily.
Look, the point is
What?
that if we assented that premise is true, we would be irrational because we don't have an argument supporting that proposition. So what we're asking of you is to defend that proposition. We don't see reason to accept it.
By
So
what?
why would I
Bringing you the
accept
two
it?
wrong. Defended by bringing you the two wrong
Well,
positions.
you
that
want to
have?
say that, well, not merely that, because you want to say atheism commits you to strictly two options that are both
Yeah.
false. What we want
Yeah.
first is that, one, the two options are false, and, well, actually, first, we can talk about whether or not I'm committed to strictly those two and whether those two are even false.
Right.
Options,
You can't just.
If anything, we can
argument is
grant you
based
that
on-
those are false, but just ask for, like, the argument that dichotomy is true.
The economy is
entail
true.
from
The
atheism.
economy is true because in any position regarding, like in theology or whatever.
Well, we don't. Well, hold on. We want to know first what's the claimed dichotomy that's committed to, and what's the argument for it.
The argument is atheism is a position that leads you to incorrect options.
No. The argument for that.
Mhm.
So first, what are the two false options or wrong options?
The two false options. It could be anything, and it could be like believing in what's it called? Believing that the universe never is eternal. Like first, it could be anything. Universe eternal,
Okay,
or it could
so
be what's
that's
it
one of
called?
them.
Believing that, like what's it called? You leaving yourself to moral relativism. Believing that more.
Okay, those are both not okay. Both of those are just not commitments of
Those two are
atheism.
incorrect.
Well, okay. Well, before we even go anywhere, that's not a dichotomy. Obviously, I don't even know if this is like clearly moral relativism or the universe is eternal. That's just
Yeah,
not
can
a
I just say
dichotomy
something?
one.
Can I just say something? Look,
Define economy if you understand it.
moment. If even if all of the scientific methodology, all of the Big Bang, all of evolution, all of the abiogenesis was proven to be like 100% untrue, that does not make your God claim any more true than it is. You still have to justify it. So even if the Big Bang didn't happen, even if like
I don't think we
morality,
should
like
bring that up because we're
Mm.
not even
right,
talking about the Big Bang. But
yeah,
the
but
point
Define
just
economy.
is
Define
Adam.
in your way.
For
Define
well, a
economy for me.
dichotomy. Yeah, a dichotomy is when you have strictly two options that are mutually exclusive to pick from, right? Like an example is like my coat is either completely red or not completely red.
Okay.
That's a dichotomy. But if you're saying that I'm committed to strictly two options, right? It just seems like you want to say there's a dichotomy. But I just don't see why. First, it's just not true. Atheism commits you to either of those. That the
Which
universe
ones?
is
Which
eternal.
options does atheism leave you to?
Both. I
If
just said both of the options. I don't like that.
yes, and
Are
those
you?
two options, according to the Elliot argument, those two options are incorrect.
You're not even listening at this point. I'm saying
I'm
the two
listening to you. You
options.
said atheism holds
Okay,
to those
but
two
can you like
positions.
please? Okay, just stop interrupting for a second because I want to be able to communicate what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
saying it's okay. I'm saying it's not true. I'm committed to relativism or the universe being past infinite as an atheist. Atheism does not comment on uh, anything about whether or not the universe, the cosmos are eternal, and it doesn't comment on ethics. So you can have any given view. In fact, most academic professional philosophers in ethics are both moral realists and atheists. Of course, moral realism is compatible with atheism. Most atheists are not even moral relativists. And this stuff about the universe being past infinite is also not an entailment of atheism. You could believe the universe is past finite.
No, you can't.
Why can't
What?
you?
What's the
Yes.
argument for that?
Believing past finite, believing that the universe is eternal is absolutely the most stupid thing you can say.
I'm
Hey,
not
Because
that's
asking
like
you that.
living
No, wait. Now you're not following. We're not talking about whether that view is false or not at the moment. We're talking about whether atheism commits you to that.
yes,
That
it
if you
does.
subscribe to atheism as a corollary, you also subscribe to the universe being past infinite. And don't say, yeah, it does, right? That's the claim on the table. We're asking you to show how you're committed to that if you're committed to atheism.
You believe morally through speaking to a lot of people who are atheists. This can be my testimony.
No,
Speaking
but
to
we're not
most.
talking. No, wait. Hold on. Now you're doing something different. It might be true you have inductive reasons to think it's likely for any atheist that if they're an atheist, then they also believe the universe is past infinite. But that's a different claim from the claim that atheism entails this commitment. That's something different. One is talking about an entailment relation. The other is just what you have reasons to believe from your priors or your background experiences. We're not talking about whether or not you have
Do
reasons
you
to
want
think
me
that
to
most
prove
atheists are that. We're talking about the entailment. We're asking if you have
the
an
entailment? So you want
argument,
me to prove the
atheism.
entailment? You want me to prove that atheism,
Yes.
the majority of atheists believe
No.
that there's.
No. That's exactly the
no.
confusion again. Look,
What do you want me to
if I'm
prove
an
then?
atheist, I want you to give the argument, if I'm an atheist, then I believe the universe is past infinite.
So you want me to put myself in a position where you're an atheist, and I have to convince you where you believe that the universe is eternal.
No, you're saying, look, imagine I said if you're a theist, it entails you believe all hippos are red. That's something obviously false because it's not an entailment. If we do an analysis of what theism is, right, the belief there's an agent that's causally responsible for the universe, there's nothing more than the entailments that there is a cause for the universe and the cause of the universe has the property of agency. Those are two entailments of theism. Now, if I made claims like it entails that hippos are all red, we can actually show that's false by doing an analysis of what theism means. Now, it's not true. Atheism means anything about some view about eternalism about the cosmos. Atheism isn't a view that comments on the cosmos. or eternalism. It's a view that strictly comments about the belief of the appraiser being that a God doesn't exist, that one is subject to the belief a God doesn't exist. That doesn't commit you to the universe being infinite. You could believe there's not a God and believe the universe is not infinite. In fact, there are scientists who believe there's like whatever this language means. There's some more fundamental emergences that explain the universe. The universe isn't eternal. A lot of atheists believe this. It's not true that atheism entails this. It's just false, right? But the point is, we can just hold off on the claim it's false and see why you think you're warranted in making that claim. And it's clear you don't have anything.
It's not because of that. It's because of my personal testimonies of doing. It's my
No,
personal
but
testimony.
oh my God! But do you remember what because I explained this to you, and it just seems you're not appreciating what's being said. The personal testimony thing is different from what's being asked.
I know.
I'm asking if it's entailed, not if you have reason to believe it. I could believe all swans are white because of my background experience of no swans being anything other than white. And that's a justification. But that doesn't justify if you're a swan, then you're white. To say that's entailed just means it's true in virtue of the meaning. Now, if you look at the definition of a swan, the predicate white does not appear as a constitutive of what the term means. So if I said it's entailed that if you're a swan, you're white, that's a false claim. But I could be justified in saying all swans are white, and that not be true in virtue of some entailing. Do you understand that or no?
Entailing something, if you presuppose something, it doesn't have to necessarily be true. That's stupid.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'm asking you, do you appreciate what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Okay, I'm saying to say it entails means it's true in virtue of what the word means. The word atheism does not mean anything about the cosmos being eternal.
So
or
what is
causal
atheism?
infinitism or
What is
anything of
atheism?
that.
If atheism doesn't
Atheism
hold to that,
commits you to there not being an agent
okay, fine.
causally
Let's say
responsible for
atheism
the
doesn't hold
universe.
you to that view, to that worldview that the cosmos are eternal, the universe eternal. What position does atheism take on the universe?
But hold on. If you're gonna bite that bullet, that's just conceding the Elliot argument's
No,
false.
it's not conceding the argument. I'm just
is.
trying to understand
if you're
what's
if you're
your
saying
worldview. Since you
look, if you're
think,
saying hold
due
on,
to the earlier
okay,
argument, you think
wait.
the
Okay,
argument
wait.
is.
Oh my God, wait.
Hold it. Simmer down.
Look, I'm saying wait for a moment. We can get to that. The point is, if you're conceding, let's just say that it's not true. I'm committed to that. Your claim, the argument that you just rendered was one that said that to be an atheist commits you to these two views that
I'm
are
not
both
saying to
false.
those
And if you're
two
saying,
specific.
hold on, wait, let me land the plane.
To
Just
those
stop
two.
interrupt. Wait, just let me finish speaking. I'll let you know when I'm done. I'm not going to take that long. So your argument said that if I'm an atheist, I'm committed to these two false views. And you just said, let's suppose that it's not true. That to suppose it's not true just means you're conceding the argument is not sound because it's not true. I'm committed to that false view, or even whether or not the view is false. I'm just not committed to that.
No, I didn't say that. I said atheism doesn't hold you to just those two positions. There's other positions that atheism fall into.
You just said
position. No, let me finish. Any position that you take regarding anything regarding the existence of God, you always are left with two positions. That's what the earlier argument is arguing. It's not arguing
but
that
look,
there's
I
two
asked
specific.
Okay, I was asking. Look, when I asked you earlier, what are the two false things it commits you to? You named the two things, and you said those are commitments entailed from atheism. Then now you're just conceding that one of them is not an entailment. But now if you're saying something else.
I'm not conceding. When did I concede?
But why? Well, let's stop muting him. I think it's best that he just understands that I'm like, I don't understand why he's not being respectful and just not letting me finish speaking.
Respectful.
Then why do you keep interrupting me? You clearly understand I'm not in the middle of a sentence and you're just over talking. Look, the point is
because
said
you're
earlier.
Representing my position.
Wait. I don't want an explanation. I'm saying that you said earlier that atheism commits you to two false views. That's not inaccurate. That's what you said. Did I say anything inaccurate thus far?
I said the argument is atheism leaves you with two options, and those options are wrong.
Yeah, so I said, so wait, but you said I said something
And I
wrong,
gave
and
you an
that's exactly what
example
I
of the two
said.
options.
Okay, wait, but I said exactly that, and you claimed I was mischaracterizing your argument. Now, can we agree with that the accusation I mischaracterized the argument that's false?
You didn't miscreate it. You said that those
Okay,
two.
I
You
did.
said
Okay,
the
I didn't.
I
Okay,
hold the
wait. Okay, I
position.
didn't.
I hold the position
Oh
that
my
the
god.
Elliot argument presupposes that atheism holds to a position of moral relativism and what's it called, the universe eternal. That's what I'm understanding so far from you.
Okay, yeah. So I asked you if the argument is saying that it commits you to two false views. You said yes. You said that, okay, I didn't make anything inaccurate. Then one of the things you said I'm committed to, you conceded I'm not committed to. So that just means that the argument's unsound. But now what you're saying is you're hedging what you're saying and saying, no, those are just two possible things it entails. Atheism commits you to more than just two false things.
I'm
So then
saying
that
in
just
any
means,
position you take, no, I didn't say that. In any position you take regarding theology or anything direction you go towards atheism holds you to two wrong options if you
how
give
about
the
this?
person those two
Just,
options.
how about this? How about, let's just make it easy. Let's just make it easy. Give an argument that atheism commits you to
Oh,
anything false. Wait, did he leave?
He must have.
Oh, yeah, he's gone. Since he left, I think it's a perfect time to remind everyone to keep on double tapping. Make sure to drop everyone here a follow, and make sure to keep on sharing. We'll let the next guest write up.
I don't think he was fully grasping what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, clearly wasn't. It was kind of bad.
Also, if you're like in a chat and if you want to debate, feel free to request on up. We try to get as many people as we can up, in a single file line in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, and if you do want to request up, all you have to be is above the age of 18 and bring an argument for why God exists.
Nihilus, is the wind really bad? Or no?
It's pretty bad.
Okay,
God,
I'll mute them.
this guy's like hunting for gold. What's
It's
going
kind of
on?
like it's for all the people with like not long attention spans. It's like the Subway Surfers video. It's just this
Right.
dude.
The content's good,
Yeah, it's
right?
pretty good.
Yeah, the content's good.
Yeah.
All right, bet. I'll let you. I'll show if I find anything, but it's mostly been like cans and freaking pesos. That's it. I'll let you know that.
Yeah, but if you're wanting to come on up, you just gotta press the guest request box. All I ask is that you are above the age of 18, and then you bring an argument for why God exists, and then we can have a good faith dialectical discourse together. And if you're just in the comments chatting away, just make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, especially if they're a theist. It looks like we got someone requesting, so we'll bring them on next. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey man,
And how old are you?
I forgot.
You forgot how old you are? Yeah, okay. What the fuck?
Definitely not.
I mean, he sounded old enough, but I don't know what that response
Hey,
was.
dementia is a real thing. I get it.
Not to mention the ripe old
By
age
the
of
way,
18. Wow.
you know, metal detectors are like a scam. That the people
they're not.
who invented it, that they were at the base for 150 years before putting them to market so they can steal all the goods. So then they
Really?
sell you the product and you capture nothing.
Oh wait, I don't know if I read
Yeah.
this out yet. But thank you, your God is Yield for the
Hey,
heart.
Drew, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How old are you?
I'm not. I'm 40. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm friendly. I just had a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. We don't have to answer it. Well, it's probably too broad. But have you guys ever heard of the alien argument? That guy is so
Yeah.
annoying.
As
He's
a matter
annoying
of
as hell.
fact,
So,
I have.
We had it like 2 seconds ago.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pause.
like I don't know if you were there, but literally, like there was like an Elliot arguer. Yeah.
Yeah, literally the
Oh,
guest
okay. I
just
missed it.
before you.
And you
Yeah.
guys smashed him, right?
He left.
Yeah, Monkey Boy kind of
Okay,
walked him
I
around
think
like a
Monkey Boy
dog.
did all the heavy lifting, to be honest. So I think like specifically Monkey Boy smashed him.
okay. As long as somebody smashed somebody arguing that point,
Yeah.
this is one guy on TikTok. Well, he
Mhm.
is. I guess that is his standpoint. T or whatever it's called, and he's a obnoxious, annoying piece of feces. But that's it, guys. I just want to know what was your guys' take on that, but I missed it.
No, you're good, man.
Wait,
Yeah.
That wind is.
Nihilus, Adam Allen, he's like crashing out in chat right now.
Yeah, well, Alan, I've told him to request on up. I know I could like walk him around in the dirt. Maybe you could find him with your metal detector later. But if you want to come on up, you're more than welcome to, Alan. I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
All right, guys. You guys enjoy your day and take it easy.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
nice
Yeah.
talking to you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
You
coming up.
too. Bye bye.
Keep up the
Yeah.
good work.
Nice guy.
Make sure to keep on double tapping. Get this in FYP so we get more people to join. Make sure to drop everyone here a follow. These are all amazing people. And thank you all for being here. So it's so nice to see all the lovely and friendly faces. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, Blue Hat. I've seen you in the last couple lives. Nice to see that we have some recurring viewers. But if you believe in the Bible like Alan and don't want to be like a keyboard warrior like him, you can request on up. I just have a few rules. You have to be above the age of 18, and you have to bring an argument for why God exists. And if you can do that, then we can have a progressive, good faith, linear, dialectical discourse together. But yeah, we just come on up and we can have a little chat. But yeah.
I don't think Alan's able to come up.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He just like might not have access to a live. I know like I don't have access to live. That's why I'm like I'm here right now. I don't have the followers.
This is so boring. I don't know how people do this.
Everyone has to like share the live, especially if you know like a theist.
Here we go. We got someone.
Yeah, that's like the only way we can get it done.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Yeah, how old are you?
18.
What year were you born?
2006.
All right. Yeah, what's going to be your argument for why God exists?
I don't believe in God.
Then why did you request up?
Oh.
Because is there anybody here that does believe in God?
No,
Oh.
unless someone's
I do.
Well, because
No,
that's
yeah,
why I'm here, 'cause
I believe in
I
God.
debate Christians about every single day, so I wanted to bring some.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Yeah, Monkey
actually.
Boy does. Yeah, Monkey Boy's a Christian. I forgot my bad. I have dementia.
All right,
Yeah.
Monkey. Would you like to start with a point?
You just want to know my argument for theism?
Well, no, you could start with whatever you want first. You can do the fine tuning. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, so I run fine tuning, right? So I think I have reason to believe that there's fine tuning as opposed to coarsely tuning. I think coarsely tuning is an ontological inflated view that doesn't corroborate well scientifically. So I have reason to think there's fine tuning. And then in virtue of that, the precision of the constants that allow for life are ones that I think that the prior probability favors a designer who has the power and desire to do so.
Okay, so why I believe the fine tuning argument doesn't really work is because that's with the assumption that life is the only thing that can exist in the universe. So if life did not exist, we just wouldn't be here talking about this. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think the universe
What?
can still exist in the way that it does and be perfectly fine without Earth?
I'm not. Wait, you said the fine tuning argument assumes what?
The fine tuning argument puts you in the assumption that life is the only possibility in the universe. So can the universe exist
No.
in how it does without
No,
Earth?
it doesn't. It doesn't.
But you say
that
that the
assumption.
universe is fine tuned for life.
Mm-hmm.
That is what you said.
Yeah, that just means that there's certain cosmological parameters that allow for life.
What does that prove, though?
That proves that there's a God.
How does that do that?
Yeah, so the conditional probability of there being an agent with the power and intention to create a world like this is increased astronomically. Um,
By what?
the fact that we have a world like this.
But do you believe in aliens?
No.
Okay, so you just proved that that there are other planets that go under the exact same circumstances that Earth does, and they don't have life on it. So all you're doing is proving that Earth, with the right circumstances, can provide life, and that's perfectly fine. That makes sense. We have all the possible things for it to exist. But what does that prove for a God? I'll even say you proved God is real, but you
I
could
don't understand what
never
you're
prove it was
saying.
a Christian God. But
I don't even understand what you're saying.
I'm not going to give you that.
I don't understand what you're saying.
He's not, look, right. He's not necessarily saying that aliens can't exist. He's not making the affirmation that aliens don't exist. He's saying that, he's probably saying that there's of course the possibility that aliens exist, but with the evidence and data we do have, there's just not enough to be convinced that they do.
Yeah, no, that's irrelevant to what I'm
I
saying.
don't
What I'm
even
saying to
understand
assume
why
that
he
the
brought up
universe is
aliens in the
fine
first
tuned for
place.
life is just a bias on the fact that you are
I
on the
don't
planet with life.
understand why you even brought up aliens.
But it's relevant because if you do believe in aliens, then you would say that the universe is made for life. And the fact you said no goes against your claim that the universe is fine tuned for life. So if you can have one planet that is fine,
What?
that can have
What?
life on it.
Wait. Hold on. Let's just try and break down what you just said.
I mean, I
The
understand what
fact.
other people
Hold
did.
on.
It's just an issue for
Okay.
me.
Okay. I don't understand. So you're saying the fact aliens that I don't believe aliens don't exist makes it such that there isn't fine tuning? Or am
No,
I wrong?
no,
Then what are
because
you saying?
a part of your fine tuning claim was that the universe is fine tuned for life, and any other planet in the universe exists with the same circumstances that Earth does. But the only reason that Earth has life on it
That's not
is
the
because
claim.
Earth in itself has the necessary capabilities of it. That does not prove that there is a God. That just proves that Earth is good for life.
Okay, so again, what we want to do now just is go step by step because you constantly just say stuff and I don't appreciate anything because you're saying much and I'm not understand. You're saying a whole lot of stuff I don't understand.
Okay,
So it's
so I'll
impossible
make it
for me
more
to
simple.
digest anything. So wait. So let's stop at there's I only believe that there's life on Earth. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, what does it have to, how does that prove God?
No, you're claiming that that's somehow a problem.
No, the problem is that you
Then
in
what was
your
the point of
claim.
bringing up? Well, hold on. Then what was the point of bringing up aliens?
I'm getting that because in your claim you said that fine tuning proves that the universe is built for life. Do you still stand by that?
Mm-hmm.
So other planets in the universe don't have life on them because you don't believe in aliens. So that proves the universe is not built for life. But to make the assumption that the universe is fine tuned for life is
Wait. Stop there. So the fact there's not other life on other planets, which also I don't know where you pulled that out of your ass. But let's just
I don't
grant
agree
you
with
that.
it.
Wait. You pulled that out of your ass. I never made any claim of the such. But suppose there is no life on anywhere other than Earth. How's that an issue for fine tuning?
Because fine tuning is the argument that life is built for the because of how the universe is made.
What?
I don't. I'm sorry that you don't understand this, but the fine tuning argument is that the universe is fine tuned for life.
That there's certain conditions that are capable of bringing about life, and that those are out of the possibilities of other types of tuning there could have been. It's unlikely that we have these constants that bring about life, right? So what explains that? And then we want to argue that the inference to the best explanation um, would be, in virtue of the relevant facts, we have good reason to think that it's a theistic entity.
No, we
I
don't.
don't know what you're talking
No, we
about.
don't. Fine.
What?
The fact. Well, okay, so what are the things
Well,
that are fine
that's
tuned
just
for
to be
life?
argued.
What
So
are the things in the universe that are fine tuned for life?
Yeah, so there's certain relevant conditions like what can bring about relevant particles, carbon-based life, right? And that is only had on Earth, and that's unlikely to be had.
That
The
was
universe could have been of any
nothing right there.
configuration that doesn't. Well, that's not a critique.
Listen, you are using survivor bias on the fact that Earth has life to assume that the universe is built for life, and that is a fallacy. It is not true because the universe could exist in its exact way that it does today without the Earth being here.
What am I assuming?
Well, do you agree that the universe can exist how it does without the Earth, or once the Earth
No,
is
wait.
gone, the universe ceases to
Okay,
exist?
but let's not dodge what I just asked. What is the assumption?
What is the assumption of what?
You just said I'm assuming something.
Yes. Well, which part about the fine tuning?
I don't know. What am I assuming?
You're assuming that the only possible outcome of this quote fine-tuned universe is life, which it's not.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't look. Is life the only possibility in the universe, or can there be non-life?
Obviously, there can be non-life.
So then you can't make the claim in your opening statement that it was fine-tuned for life. That's what I'm dissecting here. You said
Why? Wait. Okay. Wait. Why can't I?
because then in the sentence when I asked about aliens, you proved yourself wrong.
How did I prove myself wrong?
You contradicted yourself by saying that there is non-life when you
What
first
was the
claimed that the universe
contradiction?
is fine-tuned for life.
Wait, what's the contradiction?
Dude, in your first statement, you said the universe is fine-tuned for life. I then asked about if aliens exist, and you said no, which means that we're the only thing in the universe, and that means that non-life exists.
Okay.
So you
What's the
contradicted. I made you
contradiction?
contradict. Man, come on, please. I'm begging you.
I'm begging you to give an answer.
The
What's the contradiction?
is that you believe non-life exists in the universe, but in your first statement you said the universe was fine-tuned for life.
What's the contradiction?
The contradiction is that you're saying the universe is meant for life, yet it also has no life.
What's the contradiction?
I just said it. I swear to God, I just said
That's
it.
not a
That's a
contradiction.
contradiction.
What fine-tuning is saying that there's very precise conditions that bring about life, that they could have been any other possible way epistemically, such that it's unlikely out of all of the possible ways the world could have been configured, that we have these conditions that are such that they have a low probability to bring about life, or it's a low probability we have this configuration that has all the essential features for bringing about life. Now, that fact is to be explained why we have this configuration as opposed to one that doesn't bring about life. Now, the fact that we have these conditions is best explained by theism.
No,
That's
it's
the
not.
crux of the argument.
No, it is
Wait,
not. That is
but
a theistic
okay,
view.
okay,
Let's
wait,
not forget.
wait. I'm explaining. Look, I don't care if you disagree. The point is just I'm outlining what the argument is saying. Obviously, I don't like. What is wrong with you?
I know
Obviously,
exactly what I'm
you
saying
don't.
is correct.
Wait,
Every
stop
other Christian.
talking. Stop talking. Obviously, I understand you're not of the belief that's true. There's no point of yelling like a maniac saying that's not true. The point of the argument is to render reason to believe that that's true. The argument is to establish that. Obviously, it's to be you run the argument against people who don't already have the view. Okay, that was the outline of the argument. The outline of the argument is just that we have certain relevant cosmological configurations in an area of space that brings about life that are extremely unlikely to be the way it is. Now, what explains that fact? Now, all the argument is doing is conferring reason to think it's explained by theism. It's not saying that the conditions that we have present that explains why there's life on Earth is had everywhere in the universe. That's not what the argument's saying.
So don't say fine-tuning universe, then say fine-tuning of Earth. Would you like to change it to that?
No, I'm just going to keep it the way it is.
Okay. So let's even say if
It's the configuration of the universe. It's not just
what do
the
you mean
configuration
configuration of the universe?
of the
How much
Earth.
of the universe have we seen?
Yeah, so there's configurations of how space works, how certain fundamental forces work in interacting with physical entities, such that they bring about life-permitting organisms.
Okay.
Right? If
So,
gravity was heavier, there would not be the ability for a lot of organisms
and what's the
to
issue with
exist.
that? What's the issue
That's
with that?
one. That's one. Can you? What is wrong with you? Just calm down.
I'm perfectly
The
calm,
point
but I
is,
need to.
no,
But you've gone on for 2 minutes, and I
you're,
need to jump in on this.
wait,
You say that if gravity was a little
oh
bit
my
heavier,
God,
then
I
life.
don't understand why you're interrupting. So look, I'm just saying that if gravity was heavier, lots of organisms wouldn't be able to, there would not be the ability to sustain life if gravity was significant, or not even significantly, if gravity was heavier, right? And that's one fact of the cosmos broadly, not a fact merely of Earth, right? Because the gravity of Earth is explained by the total element, the exhaustive range of physical entities in their configuration of space, right? It's the way that physical entities, how physical entities uh, interact, right? And how they integrate given how they warp space, right? Their distance from other celestial bodies, all of that is into account, and that explains the gravity of Earth. It's not merely some vacuum where the planet Earth is in space.
Okay, my turn. So you just said celestial entities. So you brought in God in an argument.
Celestial bodies.
Which is what? Like planets?
Planets?
Okay.
Stars? You don't know what a celestial
For
body
the record,
is.
you did say celestial entities.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. Second off,
No, I did
so
not.
you claim that the gravity, if it was a little
I
bit.
did not say celestial
Okay, yo,
entities.
now host, turn his mic off because I'm talking now. So listen, if the gravity was a little bit heavier.
How about this? Before
No,
you
if
continue,
gravity was a little bit
I'm
heavier,
just
would life be here? Would life
hold
be
on.
here?
Okay, hold on. I'm just asking, would you be willing to wager $15 if the host sends me the recording and we watch it together that I said celestial entities? Would you be willing to wager 15?
No, it's irrelevant. Let's say you even said
Why not?
celestial bodies, and I'm wrong. All right, I'm wrong. That doesn't prove God.
I
So
know,
let's
but
continue.
look, if you're that confident, you just won $15,
No,
right? And I'm
okay,
down.
you said bodies. Let's just bring it back to something.
I know, but I just really want free $15.
Yeah,
Okay, you're
I
not
pull
getting
the wreck.
$15.
Okay.
Next. Anyways,
Okay.
so if gravity was a little bit heavier, would we be here having this conversation?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Who said yes?
I did.
Who's that? How would we be here if gravity was a little bit heavier?
He's just trolling. Look, the point is that if gravity was heavier, we wouldn't have the relevant conditions that brought about life.
You're right. And the fact that gravity isn't a little bit heavier, how does that prove that there is a God versus the fact that we got lucky? Because you're taking a giant leap when you bring the I don't knows in the air to theism.
We're just lucky?
We are if these conditions didn't exist, we would not be here having this conversation. So 100%.
Whether or not it's lucky, I don't
that
understand what that's.
Because you are saying the impossible probability of life then proves God. It does not. You take the logical improbability.
Yeah, but that's just
of life
question begging.
doesn't prove
That's just
God.
assuming the conclusion's
And
wrong
I would say
and not
this: if
engaging
logical
with
improbability
the
proves
argument being
God,
ran.
I believe it would probably prove the Islamic God or Zeus. How does it prove the Christian God?
Wait, are you under the assumption that Monkey Boy is like Christian? This is not.
No, I
Irrelevant
am.
of what it is. Logical
Oh, he is?
improbability, if it leads to God, you still have all your hard work ahead of you because now you have to prove it's your God. But logical improbability of life does not prove God. It proves
okay, we
logical
understand.
improbability of life.
Okay, but now you're just jumping all over the place.
I'm not.
Now we were talking about whether there even is fine tuning and whether I have a good explanation or whether theism is a good explanation. And we haven't even gone over that hurdle, and now you're talking about, well, we can't I'm not even going to be able to defend that it's some specific God, which, by the way, is clearly something I'm suspecting you don't have an argument for anyways. But right now we're just establishing that we have reason to believe that theism broadly explains the phenomena.
How does it do that?
Yeah, so if we have an entity that has the desires to bring about a world of this type and has the power, well, we would deduce the expectation that this world would exist. We have the fact this world exists. Therefore, that's evidence for theism. It's like this is like
Yo, you just said God exists, and then you have to prove God exists. That's the whole
no,
point of this. You just said if
no,
God
I didn't
exists
say
and He
that.
made Earth, then that proves that God made Earth. You don't
I
even
didn't
have the
say
evidence that
God.
God exists.
No, no.
You're using a
Wait,
false dilemma
wait,
of God
wait,
existing.
wait. That's not even a false dilemma. Oh my God.
Yes,
Look,
it is. You're
wait,
bringing
wait,
in
wait.
God when I don't believe in God and saying that Earth exists, therefore God made Earth. You need to prove God exists to even say the argument you said 20 seconds ago.
I'm not even making a claim there's any dilemma. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you
And
said that
secondly,
God
wait,
exists.
just please stop. Jesus Christ.
Oh man, he left.
Oh my God. Good. Obviously, I'm not Christian,
W
by the way.
LARP.
But that the guy was just so dumb.
Yeah. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing with your friends. If you want to come up and have a conversation with me or any of the other panel people, you just have to be above the age of 18 and bring an argument for why God exists.
He said I was assuming God exists. What is hell really? Interesting. This Alan guy has really good stuff to say in the
Yeah, I
comments.
wish he would, come up and justify it.
Nihilistic covers. Oh shit! Never mind. It changed. I was gonna say it's like a little too much to the left.
Oh, here we go. I think we got someone come up now. Hey, man, how's it going?
Great.
How old are you?
Fantastic. Very interesting shit. Very
How old are you?
interesting. I'm 45.
45? Okay, and what is your argument for why God exists?
Well, it's not an argument because I think that topic is way above our payroll, right?
Well, right. So like,
Man,
I
God.
don't know if you like read much like English or whatever, but
I've
like
read
the
a
live
lot. I've read a lot.
the title says "Prove God exists." Must be 18 plus.
Yeah,
Bring an
proof God
argument.
exists.
So
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's my proof for God's
Yeah.
existence. Okay. I don't know if you guys know anything about quantum physics.
yeah. What
What
about him?
about it?
Have you guys looked into that
Yeah.
a
What about
little
quantum
bit?
physics?
Well, okay. Well, quantum physics is basically the physics of our universe, how it's
Yeah, I'm
made,
aware of
right?
what quantum physics is, but I'm asking like, how does it prove God?
Well, here, let me come to my point. Well, the thing is, the world is not what we perceive. That's for one thing. Secondly, this universe, if not infinite, might be part of an infinite number of parallel universe, right? You heard
Okay,
about
like
that?
I'm aware of like some of these theories, but like I just want
Okay,
to know
great.
like how
Okay,
these
so
prove
let's
God.
assuming that this universe is infinite.
Okay.
So within infinite, okay, everything is possible, right?
Sure.
There you are. God
No,
exists.
wait. Sorry. No, not everything is possible.
Absolutely, everything is
I'm
possible.
Universe is
convinced.
infinite.
Because actually we cannot apprehend that because it's so much bigger. We cannot even see the full extent of this universe right now. We cannot even see, for Christ's sake,
That was
the
a really good
actual
argument,
mechanism
actually.
of the matter. Just it is, as I say, out of our
Then
pay
wait, then
grade to
why
actually
are you talking
try to
about it?
prove or disprove the
Wait, if it's out of our
existence
pay grade,
of
then
God.
why are you expecting an answer from me?
I don't expect any answer for you. I give you an answer.
Okay, so, sorry,
Wait, Mark, what do you think
This
it means
universe
for
is
something to
infinite.
be possible?
If this universe is infinite, and I believe it is, and I don't believe that what I see
What did-
actually right now is real, I think it might be a projection or might be a simulation. I don't care, but that comes to the same exact thing as the people call,
Well, if you're having like, issues about like reality, I would highly recommend you go see like a mental health professional.
You're funny. This universe is not just centered on a point of view, right? You're
Well,
aware of this. If you are, let's
No,
say, an ant with
I'm
a
not aware of
conscience,
that.
you would see a different thing totally.
I mean,
For Christ's sake, if you were an Asian, you would see the world
I'm so
differently.
sorry. Like, is this supposed to be like proving God? Okay.
Yeah.
So can you just like
Yeah,
restate?
so
I want you to just like can you just re-clarify what your like argument is, because it seems like we're kind of jumping.
Okay. Well, my argument is that our sense, our consciousness, and our sense of understand. I'm sorry, I'm French, by the way, so it's hard for me to speak in English. But
I'm
our
also
sense
French.
of organizing the reality, our perception of the actual universe, okay, is so limited. Okay, it's so irrelevant that to even assume that there's no creator is by itself, to try to prove or
is
disprove
this
is
just some
reality.
fine tuning
The fact that we're
argument?
here
So
talking together
like,
just proves to me that God exists. But then again, it's a matter of faith. You don't have faith or
okay,
you have
like,
faith. This is the whole point of the
what do
Bible.
you mean like by perceive? Like, are you saying like we can't like comprehend like everything about the universe, or like?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
and so you're saying because we can't know all these things, which that
Exactly.
means that there has to be a God?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
How does that
yeah,
follow?
that's kind of a jump.
It's ordered, man. It's ordered. Either if you like it or not, it is ordered. You're here, I'm here, and we're talking together. At least we have this impression.
But like
So,
the thing is
in order
like
to
you're
organize
jumping,
matter this
right?
way,
You're saying like there's order, therefore God, but you still have to make the argument for why order proves God.
absolutely, absolutely. This is the. But then again, it's a matter of faith. Nobody forces you to believe.
But
It's just
trust
the
me,
same thing
bro.
with the
I
Bible
love
yesterday.
me a trust me, bro. But like, obviously, I'm not gonna accept that because I think that's a low standard.
I'm sorry, I got my car jump start jump or whatever.
What?
No, but
Right, but
that's
God
interesting,
loves
by
to
the way, guys.
make
I'm
God
super
likes
happy.
making chaotic worlds, not ordered ones. Remember?
I'm looking forward to continue this discussion later on. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Have a good day now.
See you,
Let's try
man.
this out.
What the?
I wanted to troll that guy, to be honest.
But if you want to,
Oh yeah. Make sure to keep on following, keep on double tapping. I mean, if you have an argument for theism being true, feel free to come on up. We'll definitely let you up if you have an argument.
but yeah, thank you, Monkey Boy, for coming up. You're the GOAT, of course. Your YouTube channel is the best YouTube channel out there. Yeah.
Objectively stands independently.
Objectively stands independently. I'm talking from the heart. Gets me every time. But yeah, if you want to,
I was watching one of his videos earlier.
yeah, I want to see that Islam Apex video that he's gonna be putting out soon.
Dude, I got to see it live, bro. That guy did not know anything
wish
about
I saw-
modality. He was like S5 axiom, S5 axiom. That was like the funniest thing ever.
But if you want to come up onto the panel and talk to any of the panelists, you just have to be above the age of 18 and bring an argument for why God exists. And if you can bring that, we can have a progressive, good faith, linear dialectical discourse together. But yeah, just make sure you're double tapping on that screen and sharing it with your friends.
Did you say fruitful?
Fuck, I didn't say fruitful. Fuck.
That's important. Got to make sure it's fruitful.
Wait, I never asked him what happened to the Fleur nightclub video. No.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that, and I completely slipped my
What,
mind.
for Monkey?
It's fine. I'll DM him.
Above 18 verse down 7.
I think I found something. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, Mark Masson, I think when you say that, like, I think it would kind of depend on what you're, like, what you are describing as God. Like, if it's the Christian God, I think the Christian God can be pretty easily disproven. But it kind of depends on, like, what God you're talking about. But yeah. Oh, he's coming back up. All right, round 2.
So I'm not talking about any organized religion, obviously, because this is made by guys just like you and I. Okay, it has nothing to do with. I don't know if you guys know about Heidegger, for example. Okay.
Well, okay. So
Heidegger is a German philosopher from early 20th century. Basically, to him, God is the same thing as the great nothingness. It's not something that we can actually approach because it is so much above us. Just imagine you're standing in front of, let's say, the World Trade Center. That's not a good. The Eiffel Tower,
Right.
let's say, or the Empire State Building. You're in front of the Empire State Building, yourself alone, and you try to figure out what's everything inside that fucking building. You won't be able to do it. It's obvious. Imagine now the whole planet and then the whole universe. It is not something that we can actually apprehend. So there's something, but we're not able to know about it. But for sure,
Yeah.
there's something.
Why
The
would something? Why would that
the
something be like some sort of agent? That like created the universe. Why would that something be some sort of
Yeah,
agent?
well, there was an initial force, and that's proven. That's widely proven by the quantum
Initial
physics
force.
guys and the philosopher. You cannot disprove his existence. You can only witness the world that we have around here.
Yeah.
So it's
Wait.
not
So
possible for us to do that. Obviously, all the organized religions are a bunch of BS. Okay, that's just a mean for the ordinary people to get
BS.
a spiritual link toward the great nothingness or the great creator. But it's not something that we can actually know. I don't think
Great
there's a guy with a big
nothingness.
beard in the sky. That's pointless. But there's something way above us.
Yeah. Wait.
Fascinating.
So why can't we just have like an infinite regress, of like the
Huh?
universe? Why can't we have just like some sort of infinite regress of the universe?
Infinite what?
Regress.
Regress? What do you mean? To go back in time?
Yeah, like we can go back infinitely. Why can't we just like have the universe? Why does like the universe need some sort of like
Well,
emotion?
who say it's not possible? Who say it's not
Who says that's
possible? I
possible?
mean, well, quantum
Yeah,
physics says it's possible, actually.
yeah,
Well,
perfect. I don't know how quantum physics would posit some
well,
sort of
take a look
ancient.
at it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it
You're
really
gonna call,
is.
buddy.
It's really interesting because it's basically the nature of this world at its basics, you know? So we're all made out of atoms, let's say, and everything that we can perceive. Oh, you flushed me. No, I'm still here. Okay. Yeah, we're all made out of atoms. So it's just, that's the way we are. They think that basically we're a projection, you know? Have you heard about that
Well, but
theory
I,
that
I
we
wanna I
are
wanna ask
in,
a question. Like, what
yeah?
is like why what is your reasoning behind like why can't like the universe just be like that necessary entity that exists, but like why does it have to be like a god that like has like a mind or like a like a will?
It,
Well,
I, once again, I don't think it's something that we can put words on it, okay? Like to say it's a mind or an entity or
Okay.
why do you got
whatever.
so many
But then
It's
I
ideas?
it's
don't
not
think we're
it's
really
not
gonna be
anything that we
like.
can
Then I don't
actually
think we're
talk
really
about.
gonna. If you're just saying like there has to be like some necessary entity, then I don't think we're gonna really be in
Yeah, well,
disagreement.
there
And
is
yeah,
actually.
yeah, then we're not gonna
There
really
is.
be in disagreement here.
No, there's no disagreement.
The
It's not
battle.
something that we can actually touch, you know? I mean, we
Let's
can attack all day long all the organized religion because they're
I
frankly
agree. I
stupid.
agree. But
So,
yeah,
yeah, right there. But still is. Have you heard about that theory? Super interesting. That we are in a simulation.
yeah,
yeah.
Elon Musk has
Yeah,
talking.
like green
You,
light
you know
tickets got
about that thing,
really
right?
fast.
yeah.
You're aware of that? That's very interesting because according once again to quantum physics, the world that we have the very, very strong impression that exists is actually basically an illusion. And we could be many things, but for example, we could be a tryout for a civilization that is closer to the center of our galaxies, that are living way, way slower than us because they're closer to the black hole at the center of the galaxy. So our time runs so much faster. I mean, millions of years can go by where we are in the galaxy compared
Wait,
to the
why are you
center of the
bringing
galaxy.
up
So that
simulation
could be
theory?
a thing. But then again, we don't know that stuff. You know, it's things to
Yeah, why are you
it's
bringing
food
it
for
up?
thought. But it's basically it.
Quantum entanglement?
We're somewhere. We have the impression to be somewhere. That somewhere is not actually real. And so far, they must have a reason. Would it be some?
What's the point of this tangent?
Yeah, market. I don't think we're really much of a disagreement. Like, I'm not really looking to talk about like simulation theory or anything. So
Yeah, that's
like,
Bonnie's like a skit.
I'm just gonna let you down just because like I am looking for some debates. But it was nice for you to come up and nice chatting and
Get the hell
whatever.
out of here, boy.
But make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing the live. We got 25 viewers. That's fucking phenomenal. Nice to have each and every one of you here. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. But yeah, just make sure you're.
I see some people from
Yeah.
last time, like user 451.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I'm seeing some recurring viewers. But yeah, if you want to come to the guest request box, all I ask is that you bring an argument for why God exists and that you are above the age of 18. And if you can bring those, then we can bring you on up. But Harry,
Nihilist, do you only do God debates?
you asked me this the other night.
Do you only do God debates?
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah, you sure?
I'm like 90% sure, yes.
Wait, 90, not like 100%
No, sorry,
sure?
let me rephrase. I'm 100% sure.
Oh, what's the argument for infallibilism?
Shut the fuck up.
Runaway coward.
Matt, I remember you from last time. If you want to come on up, we can chat. But yeah, just make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, especially if they believe in God. I would love to talk to them. But if you want to come up and chat, all I ask is that you are above the age of 18 and you have an argument for why God exists, so we can have a progressive, fruitful, linear, good faith dialectical discourse together.
Wait, Nihilist, are you in the Discord, the Gnafi Satan?
What?
Or whatever? You're friends with Kevin Shields, right? He was talking?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, is Kevin Shields your friend or what?
I don't know anybody by the name like that name.
Oh, the guy that was co-hosting with you.
Oh, like the other guy that was
Who has,
talking?
He has kind of a unique voice.
Monkey Boy?
No, not that guy.
Oh,
the
like
other
the guy
one.
that's like on my live with me, like
John.
that I'm on call with. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we have like a Discord that we're in. We like discuss like philosophy and religion a lot. Should talk to Kevin. He's just like Kevin Shields on Discord, but it's pretty cool if you want to join it. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down. Mark, I'm not gonna bring you back up, man. Like we don't really have anything to like chat about.
Mark's like a schizo.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to come up and have a conversation, all that I ask is that you are above the age of 18 and have an argument for why God exists.
TikTok easily has the dumbest
Invite Darth Dawkins to the live. Darth Dawkins did follow me. I saw.
Oh, Darth Dawkins isn't gonna do shit. He's gonna call Nihilist a dirty atheistic bastard and refuse to give some type of like formally valid argument, and instead trying to run some sort of like paradigm analysis to win. Like he's not gonna do shit. He's like in his 50s, bro.
Wait,
Darth
Kevin.
will blow you out the water.
Kevin, you're with Sensei right now?
What about Sensei?
Yeah, you're with Sensei. Like you're in the same room as him or something.
Yeah. Me and Sensei were both in the same room.
Okay. You should invite Nihilist to the Discord.
Okay.
I've been trying to, but I need to like won't turn on invites. So like I've been asking.
If you look in Mantis Hive and you scroll up, there should be like an invite link that he's posted.
Just
send me an invite as well.
You aren't.
Kiki, someone already tried to come and give the modal ontological argument.
And you know who's Kiki?
Someone in the live.
If he wants to come up and bring it, I don't see why you have to
Yeah, you
know.
They can reuse the argument. That's fine. Fuck, where's my batteries?
I'm pretty sure he's not even I don't think he's a theist.
Not too bad. It's gonna be a theist.
But I do not see the invite. Where is it? Do I need to pin it?
No, but like he posted it like maybe a week ago. You might have to scroll up a little bit.
I never get told about anything on this Discord server. What is this below me?
He's been really stingy ever since like World invited his fucking goons. But yeah, there is a link.
But you can make it so mods can only invite people, like no one else.
All right,
I mean,
Rad.
Make sure you double tap it on that screen while we have the guest up and sharing it with your friends.
yeah.
Ooh, it's Anita the goat.
What invite are you guys talking about?
The one to Mantis have, so we can invite Nihilus, Anita. Wait, what happened to your Scribble error account? I've been asking for so long.
I
for
changed.
mods
That
to
was like
be
an
able
old
to-
name.
I've been asking for so long for mods to be able to make invites. Please, I need this.
Please, Anita, please.
Yeah, wait, I'll do it right now.
Alrighty, and I'll be sure to invite Nihilus.
Alan, humans make sin. We cannot believe it if we. Alan, what's the argument that humans make sin? Are you saying that like sin didn't didn't exist before humans?
Okay, you should be able to now.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it right now, actually. Is that Mike Humor? Yeah, it works perfect. Right, Nihilus, we look in DMs. Also, for everyone in the chat, Nihilus has a Discord, so if any of you want to join his Discord, feel free, you know. He needs more members.
Wait, what's his Discord server?
In his bio, should be in his bio. Except Anita, you're not invited, I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
No, I'm joking, it was just a joke. It's a prank.
We need more
Anita.
Christians in there to talk to. It's currently like
Yeah.
more dead than like Jesus on the third day. If we can get some Christians
Yeah.
with the Holy Spirit to potentially like revive him or revive the server, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, just keep double tapping on the screen, sharing with your friends. Let's get someone up here to chat with. And if you want to join the live, you just have to be above the age of 18 and have an argument for why God exists.
Anita, let's run a debate. Premise 1, if you're a sub 5 chud, any proposition uttered is false. Premise 2, Anita's a sub 5 chud. Conclusion, any proposition he utters is false. Alright, good.
Wait, justify premise 2.
Self-evident.
What's the criteria for being self-evident?
Just being self-evidently true.
Yeah, can you give me like an informative account?
No, it's not my burden to.
Oh, okay, I understand. Should I order chicken right now?
No. You should become vegan, Anita.
Yeah,
You
sure.
should order salad.
Oh, I'll do that instead.
Yeah, cool. Because it's not like cool to like slaughter animals for fun.
What's the argument
That's
for
true,
that?
actually.
Huh?
Yeah, what's the argument for that?
Ideal observer theory.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's okay. You don't know a lot.
Are you gonna be too scared to express it, or what's going on?
No, you can do your own research. I'm not like terrified. I just like it's on my burden too.
Run away, coward.
Yeah, it's on my burden too.
Yeah, it is.
And Silas is like hitting a blinker as we speak. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking die right now if I sleep.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go. We'll be back in like 15, 30
Yeah, I'm not
minutes.
gonna keep the live on for much longer if we don't get anybody.
Alright, well, if you guys are still here,
Yep.
I'll come back. Bye bye.
Make sure you're just
Wait, how do I leave these?
like leave the live.
Yeah, how
I
do I do
can
that?
kick you down if you want.
Well, I want to know how
there
to do
should
it my own.
be a button to the bottom right of your screen.
No.
I believe.
You can literally just scroll down and it'll ask you if you want to leave the live.
Wait, I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
But if you want to come up onto the live and have a conversation, you just have to be above the age of 18 and bring an argument for why God exists. I see a lot of you in the comments, especially mostly just Alan. Alan, you coward, you little bitch. Come up here and like debate instead of being a keyboard warrior. I'm getting bored.
Do you need to move on from TikTok? There's too many like actual imbeciles
Yeah,
on
I
this
know.
app.
I was hoping I could get some of these Christians into my Discord so like I could just debate on there more. But not a lot of them want to join.
If anything, probably the better shot just going on like politics and religion, making your own VC.
I thought I already said it. Okay, yeah. Alan, I know you're like scared and you don't want to come up here. Like I know you don't want to be like humiliated in front of everybody and like walked around like a fucking dog. And like I completely understand like the reason to stay down as a keyboard warrior. Like I probably would too if I was in your age, or in your position, more rather. But like if you really want to debate and you like think you can prove God, like by all means join my Discord. And like immediately after this live, I will be in the voice channel waiting for you so I can dog fuck you. But yeah, just make sure you're tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that fantastic stuff. And if you want to come up onto the guest request box and do not want to be like Alan, a bitch, you have to bring an argument for why God exists and be above the age of 18. And then we can have a good, fruitful, linear, progressive, good faith dialectical discourse. And I'd be more than happy to have one with each and every one of you. But yeah. I wish there was a way I could make my link to the Discord like smaller, so it like it wasn't like a million lines long.
Hold
Let's see,
on.
I'm gonna try to put it in the chat. It's probably not gonna let me, but you playing Overwatch? Who do you main in
Yeah.
Overwatch?
What role?
Tank.
I play Roadhog a lot. He's
What
my
about
goat.
damage?
Ash, Sojourn, and I like Cassidy right now. And then I don't really play support, but I'll just play Mora and be like a dweeb. Or like I like playing Lucia.
Nice.
Do you play? What do you currently play?
Me, I've mostly just been playing like Elden Ring. But I've played a little bit of Marvel Rivals.
Is it your first run for Elden Ring?
No, I'm on like New Game Plus 4 right now. I beat the DLC and then started a New Game Plus not knowing I couldn't access the DLC. So now I'm running through the base game again.
No. Who is this little beta Alan
Oh
boy
no,
in the
he's been
chat?
here since
Listen,
the
buddy.
beginning of the live and he's too young to come up, but I've told him he's more than happy to like join the Discord and I can like rhetorically molest him.
Alan, me boy, just like come up and just say you're 18. Just like utter those words. I'm 18 years old, and you can come up.
I think I'm gonna get off, but it was nice being on
Yeah,
the
it was
live
nice meeting
still.
you. Hopefully you find something out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Alan said it was interesting arguing, buddy. You didn't even argue with anybody yet.
Yeah, you haven't
Holy
argued with
fucking
anyone,
shit.
Alan. Alan, my Discord is in my bio. Like, by all means, join it, and we can have a conversation, because I would love to know what the evidence of God is. And here I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'll pin it in chat. And it's really cool, especially with phones now. You can just screenshot and then copy paste. So there's not really any reason you should not join it. There you go, bro.
Are you getting all back to this live, like fully?
No, I'll probably still be in I'll be online. There you go, Alan.
How about
I put it in chat for you, Alan.
I want to say, if you're down, we can just like run the politics server down into the dirt.
Yeah, sure. You'll have to carry on some of the Phil stuff though.
I got you. Usually people in there are like imbecile. Like they can even run some Phil argument. You
Yeah.
probably still get it though. They're not. They're fucking better than these people do.
Yeah,
TikTok's
Alan, all you gotta
unbearable.
do, right, is like join Discord and then join like the voice chat, and then you just gotta talk like you're on the phone, man, and then I'll fucking walk you around like a fucking dog. But
and grape you
yep.
to death.
But make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all the good stuff. If I'm only going to be live for about 10 more minutes, if no one else is joining. But if you want to join, I would love to have you here. All I ask of you is that you are above the age of 18 and bring an argument for why God exists. And if you can bring that, then we can have a fruitful, good faith dialectical discourse. But yeah.
Where did you say there are better theists than hunger? I think you mean hungry, but just to be clear, if you look up politics server on Discord, there's like 100,000 people in it, and usually it's like 50% philosophy, 50% politics. And there's like usually theist rooms in there. There's also politics and religion, which is another server. Then I'm banned on 3 accounts from. Dude, how does Monkey Boy do?
Dude,
how did
I was stoked that Monkey Boy came up for a little bit.
Me too, dude. That was fucking revolutionary.
That made me feel awesome. It was like meeting LeBron James.
Yeah. Did he just like request it? That's fucking badass. Holy shit. I screenshotted it so I can go flex on people.
I've been recording. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube after.
Yeah. Has anything happened though besides that one skit?
Not really. We've just been waiting for someone to, show up.
Ethics on this app is like even worse. It's like terrible.
Okay, I guess I gotta change one of these.
Cause I got the check. Cause I brought my banger. Oh. Oh, dude. Saturdays are so boring.
Yeah, real. If God doesn't exist, how do you explain your morality? Well, are you asking like what do you like? If you want to come up and chat about morality, you can, Ryan. What do you mean? How do I explain my morality? Because I'll send you a little request if you want to come on up. Have a little convo. But yeah, make sure you're double tapping on the screen, sharing with your friends. Why would people have morality if there is no God? Well, I'm just gonna take like morality to be like something. Well, wait, why would morality? Well, morality is just gonna be. It's just gonna be like I take morality just to be based on like empathy, so it's gonna be like an emergent property of the brain. Like I would be like I would probably consider myself a moral subjectivist. Like if you're asking how it came about, it's just like confirmation bias, I guess. Like people like have opinions on things and they decide if those things are good or bad, and they form like ethics around it, I guess. I don't know. How do you view morality, Sensei? I would assume you're probably a little bit different.
Well, I'm just like a quasi-realist, which is just some form of non-cognitivism and emotivism, which just says any like moral statement we make is just going to be some reflection of mental states like emotions, natural instincts, and just like biases. So if I say like smacking nihilists in the face is wrong, all I'm saying there is that I have some like negative emotion to smacking this guy in the face. That's really all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Not saying there's some like factor
I'd
in that
probably
either.
agree with that then.
Yeah, just like based off just evolutionarily. Like there's more like utility to me saying we shouldn't torture babies because babies can like grow up and they can serve us utility. I just have like natural instincts not to harm my own kind.
Ryan, you can come on up and have a chat. You don't have to be a keyboard warrior. Alan, please come into the Discord and I will smack you around. But Ryan, if you want to have the moral conversation, like come up on the live.
Chat's
Yeah.
booming. Holy shit.
You should have seen it when Monkey Boy was here. It was going crazy. Yeah, Kiki,
Yeah, I
I
saw, like,
agree.
there was,
That's a
like,
whole
60
nother
people.
issue, but I'm not worried about that. I would, but bro, can't. Sorry. So can you justify why you have time to just be typing for like an indefinite amount of time as of right now, but you can't justify hopping on like a call for the same set amount of time? Like what's the justification for that?
Probably a shorter amount of time
Yeah.
since talking, it takes up less time than type.
Getting in the shower. But yeah, just make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing with your friends, doing all the good stuff. Ryan, yeah, morals would be subjective. Well, I mean, they would be subjective even under your worldview, because if like you believe that God is a mind, then he's gonna be a subject, and then everything that he wills, if he's the objective moral standard, is gonna be his subjective opinion. But like I also like I don't really see the contradiction in like a subjective moral framework. Like everyone just has their different opinions on what is right, what is wrong.
Somebody said, how do you connect objective morality to God anyways? Under like moral realism, there's just a sub-branch called divine command theory, which just posits that the objective moral facts are just whatever God describes to be like the principles in relation to good and bad. Now there is like a debate if that counts as like subjective since it's from God's mind, but still like moral realism anyway.
Yep. But yeah, make sure you're double tapping on the screen, sharing with your friends, doing all the good stuff. And if you want to oh, we got someone. Wasn't even paying attention. My own fault. Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, it's right there.
Ha-
Hi, how you doing? It's right
How
there.
old are you?
God
Where?
exists right there in your note. It's right there. It says proof God exists. Right there, proof God exists. So it's right there, God.
Are you saying because?
Are you okay?
What?
No, because I couldn't really tell. I couldn't really tell because I haven't searched the entire universe. Have you searched the entire universe?
Are you just sorry? Are you a
Look for God.
theist? Yes or no? Real quick, I'm like confused on your stance.
What I'm saying is God is right there. Proof God exists. It's right there. You wrote it down there. God.
Wait, so saying prove God exists proves God exists?
Yeah, because you wrote down the word God there. So what is that God? Doesn't mean anything.
Wait, does that mean Harry Potter exists?
That word.
Does that mean Harry Potter
Huh?
exists?
Huh?
Spider-Man?
Oh, yes.
Wait, Spider-Man exists?
Oh yes, I just watched it.
Here, Jun, we want like real interlocutors. So if you don't have an argument, you can just like skedaddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an argument, but you haven't given me a
Well,
chance because
let's
you
hear
wanna.
it. Like I'm
you
just
know,
hearing like your babbling rant. Like let's hear the argument.
because Have you searched
Sorry,
anywhere in the
premise one
universe
is going to
for
be
God?
what? My fault. I must have misheard. Premise one is what? Sorry.
Have you searched
Okay,
anywhere in
so
the
premise
universe
one
for
is
God?
have you
That's a
searched anywhere
question.
in the universe for God? Okay, what's premise two?
I cannot just throw in premises because I cannot prove if my premises are true. What I'm
Okay,
asking
so
you is, have you searched anywhere
have I
for
searched
God?
anywhere for
Have you
God?
searched anywhere in the universe?
Uh,
Yeah, in your underwear. In your
yes,
underwear, have you
yes, I
checked?
have.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
there. Maybe it's there. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I've
there. You
I've,
haven't
I've
checked.
checked.
It's
I've
in the back,
checked.
towards the back, towards your
I've
ass,
checked.
towards your
We're
ass.
good. Yeah, we're good.
yeah.
There's
I
no
just
God
put my
there.
fingers in my ass and
Yeah,
I couldn't feel them. So
yeah, it's not there. How about in the Milky Way,
Yeah,
Andromeda Galaxy,
no
no,
God
no.
there.
Andromeda Galaxy?
No God peering there as of right now.
Okay, yeah, you're bullshit. You
I'm
haven't been
bullshit.
there.
Oh,
Dude,
just came in and he came
what
up
is this
and
app,
was
bro? Like,
whining.
who are these people? Like, are these
I
people even
don't
like
think so.
sentient?
I don't know if these people. I don't know if a lot of these people can be granted moral, like agency, as of right now.
You did. Yeah, I think like pigs are more
Yeah.
intelligent than these people. Like, holy shit. It's actually so much easier to convince like maybe like a 6-year-old of atheism than like some grown 30-year-old. Not even because they're not going to argue back, but because like I don't know, they're not fucking
Literally.
idiots. They know how to listen.
All right, now we can. Yeah, if you want to come up and do better than the last guest, you just have to be above the age of 18 and have an argument for why God exists. But if you're just in the comments, it's nice to see you here. Nice to have you. Just keep double tapping on that screen. Let's get the live out there. Share with your friends, especially if they believe in God. Sensei, I don't think I ever asked you, like, were you like Christian like before, or?
I was never a theist whatsoever. I was probably just like intuitively leaning to atheism until I actually like did my research and then like actually inferred it.
Oh, nice, we got someone. But yeah, nice to have you all here. And hey, man, how's it going?
How's
Yeah,
it going?
good. How old are you? Okay,
I'm
and what's going to
25.
be the argument for why God exists?
I guess why do you think like religious practices?
Wait,
So I think religious practices make
do you
us.
think like do you take an argument to be a question?
Question?
Like I was listening to what you're saying, like premise one, premise two. Is that a contingency argument?
No, it's just a syllogism. Or you don't have to like formalize it. We just want like some facts of the matter that prove theism to be true.
Well, I'm not necessarily proving any god, but
Why'd you come up here?
I could do that later. I'm just talking about God in general. Like,
I'd rather you do it
why do
now.
you-
That's like the whole point of the life.
well, are you atheist or agnostic?
Doesn't matter. I mean, say I'm like atheist.
I think so. Atheism. Well, I think when you look at religious practices, like if you look at people in the places that have nothing, they are generally happier than people like in the United States.
Whoa, wait, sorry. What does that have to do with proving God exists? I can just like agree with that. It doesn't like grant theism.
Because, well, why do you think religious practices make us feel better?
What does that? Well, yeah, sorry. What does that have to do with proving God exists?
Because that has to do with God, right? Like, how does that?
No, it just shows that obviously under some like given like Christian ethics, it appears the normativity principles under there can just help society thrive. Even if I do grant this to be true, which I really don't, this doesn't prove God exists.
Well, when you look at like prayer, when you pray or meditate, your less anxious. So you have a physical attribute that's happening to you when you're doing a specific religious practice.
Well, hold on. Listen, so meditation isn't a religious practice, really.
You're right. But when you're praying to something that's outside of yourself, like taking a bigger picture, I guess you could say that doesn't necessarily prove God exists. That's a spiritual aspect. I don't think there's any evidence though that can make someone like what makes me believe in God is different. So I don't think you could say
Well, why do you
prove
believe?
God to exist.
We can just go over if your reasons are actually good reasons.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Christianity then, because I think if God was real, He would make Himself known to us, and with Christianity, that's the only religion that where a God was maybe physically here.
Wait, what?
Like with evidence, like okay, there's tons of literary evidence of Jesus, right?
So what?
So
When you say of Jesus, do you mean like proving Jesus is God?
I think the deaths of the apostles, the early church, I think that points more towards to Jesus being God. The reason why I say this is because no one, we know, I know that church tradition shows we have all these, we have the deaths. We know the 12 deaths or the deaths of the 12 apostles, but that's church tradition. We only really have 3 or 4, right? Do you agree with that?
Wait, yeah, sure. But how does the death of the apostles grant credence to Jesus being God?
Because they all were saying that they were willing to be persecuted for not a belief, but rather their eyewitness testimony. And 12 people, let's just say, I don't even believe that all of them were persecuted and killed, though. I think some of them were, and there was definitely over time that people became persecuted, but with the Bible showing us Stephen was martyred, a guy named James was martyred. We know that we hear about Paul being martyred and Peter. These people, who dies for something that they know to be a lie?
Wait, hold on. They don't have to know it's a lie, but they can also just be wrong about the just the body of information. So I could die about a given belief, and the belief is still going to be wrong. I'm not sure why.
Wait, say that again.
True belief. I just said I can die over a belief I think is true, but it's actually not true. So I'm not too sure how we're going to infer that the belief they're having is true.
I agree with you, because that's Muslims, and I think someone could say that about Muslim, but I think the difference is that
by anybody.
What do you say?
I said and Christians, not just Muslims. Anybody really.
Well, I think with it would be the similarity would be Muhammad dying and being persecuted for his death. He wasn't persecuted for his death. I mean, he was persecuted, but he died old age, and he died being protected. Versus the apostle, it's these people are saying that they saw Jesus rose. They're not saying that they believe Jesus rose. They saw him rise from the dead. I think that's
How do we know the testimonies are legit from them? Wait, hold on. You said they saw him rise from the dead.
Not see him rise from the dead, but they saw him dead again.
They saw him dead again?
They saw him live again.
Oh. And how do we know the testimonies are legit?
Because of we have embarrassing facts known about the apostles, so Peter denying Christ, and then him going on to spread churches and be willing to be persecuted. All these people were willing to be persecuted for their faith in God, or faith in Jesus and Jesus resurrected.
Well,
they're being persecuted by the Jews and the Romans.
Well, we already went over that. It can just be the case that I can get executed or just go off to a penalty thing just as I believe a given belief doesn't make the given belief true. I just be pretty confident in a given belief. And then two,
it's not a proof.
An answer to the question of why the testimonies are legit.
What other person do you know has died for their belief for nothing.
I don't have to name any of them. Doesn't disprove my point.
But no one, that's psychologically just not true, that people die for something that they know to be a lie.
Wait, sorry, I didn't say they died and they knew it was a lie. I said they died thinking it was true. There's a big distinction there. I could think something's true, and it can be the case the given belief is false.
Well, let's go with church tradition. Let's say all 12 of them, like you're saying that all 12 of them believe they saw Jesus?
Yeah, how do we know the testimonies are real?
Why would they make it up?
Sorry, it doesn't answer the question.
Well, I think, why would someone make something up for no gain? Like, are you saying, like, how do we know, like, what do you mean by how do we know that they're true?
Yeah, so let's say like person A maybe writes in a book, person B witness such and such. You can't claim that person B is an eyewitness testimony. I need like a direct thing from person B about the eyewitness testimony, not some other guy writing about person B. I don't know if that's even going to be like credible.
Okay, so how do we know that the gospel writers are actually the gospel writers, is kind of what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, how do we know whoever's writing the gospel is just uttering true information?
I think, well, it's not just the gospels that talk about Jesus like being a real person. I think if we look at how the way that this theology is for New Testament is very different from any other religion. It's really based on historical fact, and it's based on your faith in this person being a real person. It's much different than like Greek mythology or something like that. So
Wait, Greek mythologies also believed whoever they were talking about existed. Also, same with like any other religion after that point up until Christianity.
100%. The people thought like Zeus was walking on the earth and stuff like that. But your faith and salvation wasn't based on like if you actually thought Zeus was a literal person. That's very distinct for Christianity. Oh no, that's not true. There's Zoroastrianism. There's other religions that have that, but it's just still not based on historical narrative like we see in Christianity.
Sorry, I don't really see the evidence in favor to believe that the testimonies were legit. I'm still waiting for that.
Why? Well, I guess why wouldn't they be legit? Why would these people just say
asking me a question about some negation of the view isn't proving your view?
Well, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just asking you. Well, I guess yes, but I'm asking you why. Why would they make it up?
I already went over this, dude. Listen, asking me a question about the negation, I don't have any burden to even address that. So I'm still gonna need the argument. So waiting.
But that kind of stems into more argument. Like, why would something be true? Why would someone do this? Like, how does that not equate into logic? Like your logic of this to be true.
Sorry, do you have a learning disability? Do I need to repeat it for the third time now?
Yeah.
Are you being serious? Listen, I'll just
you're not really making any sense.
I'm feeling
wait, which part doesn't make sense about what SMK has said? Can you say which part specifically?
Me asking you why would they just make it up? How is that not a legit question into logic?
It's just burden shifting. It's fallacious in itself. I'm asking you to prove something, but instead of proving it, you're asking me a question. Like what?
But you're saying that they're not real testimonies.
No. I never said they weren't real testimonies. I'm asking for the evidence they're real testimonies. I'm just agnostic on if they were or weren't.
He said they could be false, not that they are false. There's a possibility of them being false, not that they indeed are false. You have to provide some sort of argument for them not being false. Do you get that?
So then, me saying that they're them being willing to be persecuted for their testimony, how is that not?
Dude, I already went over that. No, you actually have to be special education.
I got other people in the
Wait, I'm sorry, but if you really are special education, we aren't qualified to teach that.
Yeah, I'm not a special ed teacher, dude. Come on.
I
don't know why you're laughing. This shit isn't a joke. We're talking.
It doesn't seem like this point is really going anywhere. We just kind of keep going circles. So do you have anything else?
Because you're not answering my question at all. Why would someone make up something to be a lie.
Holy
Like,
fucking shit.
Because they
Griff,
want it,
you could
because for
say
fun, they're schizophrenic. There's like so many reasons, plethora of different reasons. What do you mean? Why would someone lie? Like people lie all the time for fun. Do you not know what a pathological liar is?
no, but that's totally different. That's like someone going. That's like me being willing to be like persecuted by my friends. So like, let's look at Paul.
Yeah.
Paul
Yeah,
was
pathological liars are willing to be fucking persecuted. Like I bet even some fucking pathological liars would fucking
Ted
die for their
Bundy.
lies. They'd be willing to get fucking tortured.
there.
There's
There
no
has been
contradiction
other
entailed by
people,
this.
like, but these people got nothing in return. People lie for things in
Okay,
return.
no,
So like, you got
listen.
Jim
Okay,
Jones, right?
No, some people lie for fun. No, they just lie for the game of lying.
you
They
do,
lie
you
because
do,
they
No,
get
but
you,
no
pleasure.
one
you do,
They
lies.
don't gain something
No
of
one
material
lies
you do
value.
realize
to
like
die,
serial
though. Like,
killers like
no one.
lie and like they will
Wait,
be
no.
persecuted and like for like.
Wait, hold it. Wait, to be like crystal clear, right? Like you think there's like never been like a situation in which like someone like caught in like some sort of bomb threat to themselves so they could commit suicide via cop? Like some people do die to lie all the time.
That's 100%.
And there's like gonna be like no logical contradiction to this, right? So like there's gonna be like no logical contradiction of someone lying in order to commit suicide. There's no contradiction to that. There's no issue with that. Someone could call in like the police and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna do X horrific thing," and then the police come. They have like a gun. They get shot to death. Guess what? They committed suicide by a cop, and they lied to the police, so they had more of a chance of being shot. There's no problem with this.
Yeah, but they
It
have a
probably
mental
has happened
illness.
before, to be
Like,
honest. I wouldn't doubt it.
well, like, I guess they're just
This lying thing is trivial too, since he said, "Why do you think," or it's just, "Why do you believe they lied?" But no one even uttered that they're liars. We just like it can be the case. I believe something's true, but the belief is false. So I have good reasons to maybe die over it, even though it's a false belief. That's the third time telling you this, but
Yeah.
obviously you're
Oh
wearing
yeah,
your
that's
dunce
also
cap
yeah.
right now, and you have your earmuffs.
Oh,
in your
I
ears,
wasn't
so you're
even
not
there
paying
for that.
attention.
Yeah, that's also like an amazing point, right? Obviously, like they could just have like they could be like schizophrenic. They get like a false
that's just like
belief.
that's a miss, bro. But if you read the New Testament, it's not schizophrenic writing. It's
Wait,
there's
you don't think having
parts.
like visions? You don't think like them having like hallucinations and revelation? You don't think that it doesn't entail some sort of schizophrenia? Like whenever
No,
you
'cause
have
I
like
don't
visions
see
of
it as
something.
like literal writing. I think there's allegory in New Testament writing, and like where you're like,
Wait,
oh,
they're
Jesus
writing
came
allegories for
down on the
themselves?
clouds.
Are you being serious?
There is allegory. There's parables in the New Testament.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What does that have to do with anything?
You're telling me when you're talking about a person seeing miracles or something like that. Like, I think these
The
are
miracles are
allegory.
allegory. The miracles are like metaphors and allegories, right? Cool. So then the miracles never happened.
I think the miracle that happened would be Jesus rising from the dead. But I
Yeah,
think the other
perfect.
things
I could grant you that. That
are
doesn't mean Jesus is God automatically. Jesus could be like some sort of alien.
dang, this sounds like a video I saw like with Frank Turk and some other person.
What's
I
this
don't know what
meta
that is.
commentary for?
What
Yeah,
is what?
listen. If you don't have an argument, if you have like someone else in the guest request box, they have a bunch of like I can't read that very well. But they have like a weird writing in their name. No, it's actually normal English. Never mind. Forget
Dear
it.
Griffith, so we'll give you one last chance to provide a sound argument in favor of theism. If you fuck up, we're disconnecting, okay? So go ahead.
Yeah, you're getting booted.
Oh, you should just go on to the next person.
You're
Alright,
lagging.
dumb
I'm
fuck.
sorry. You're
Alright,
lagging.
fine.
You're lagging.
Holy
You're lagging.
fucking shit.
You're
Well,
lagging.
That P1.
Well, he lagged off, everyone. I'm sorry. His internet made him come off. Make sure to keep on double tapping, keep on following. Follow
Alright, man.
everyone. Follow me. And yeah, and now let's move on to the
do
next
it.
guest.
Someone tell P Mars to come up here, dude. He's in their fucking the viewing box.
Bro, P Mars. Ooh.
Hello?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up, man?
Now he's in the
Hey,
guest request
what's up?
box.
How old are you? Oh, let's go. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
hey, what's gonna be your argument? Oh, how old are you? Age?
I was taking a shower. I was like in the bathroom taking a shower, and I saw y'all, and I like started commenting, and y'all were like, "Well, get on." And I was like, "Bro, I'm like pooping," but I'm here now.
Well, do you want to wait after you're done shitting then?
He already shitted.
Okay, never mind.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, definitely. What's gonna be your best argument for theism being true? Go ahead.
Well, there's no like proof for theism, or else it would be
We
proven.
said
But there's
argument for
evidence
theism being true.
as far as like I was
Yeah,
talking about like
yeah.
Wait, if
morality.
The
something's
evidence I'm
already
talking about is an
proven, there's
argument.
still proof. Ryan, if something's already proven, there's still proof for the given thing. That's what makes it proven. Holy shit. Blunder number one.
No, like
I
I
just
think
want
like
the argument for
morality.
theism being true. Morality, yeah, perfect. What's wrong with the moral anti-realism?
I don't know what that means.
It's just gonna be the belief that there is no mind dependent that all mind dependent facts about morality. Every fact about morality is mind dependent. Yeah, my bad.
Whoa. Just to be
Holy
clear,
fuck.
non-cog is anti-realism, but there's no moral
Oh
facts.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
saying all morals are mind.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. But non-cog's like I'm talking about general. What people generally mean when they say of anti-realism. But obviously, non-cog is just gonna be like the belief that fucking moral statements don't express propositions, but rather they express mental attitudes.
I'm
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah. I was saying it for him, not for you.
Okay, sorry.
So
Yeah.
wait, dumb this down for me. I don't understand.
Which
Ryan,
part?
we
The
just go with
non-cog or
this.
the?
Like what?
It's
Like
better to just ask. Now, we don't have to go into meta ethics. Tell me why you think morals prove God.
well, I think I would say that there's like at least there's a lot of ethical and moral gray area, but there's some like real like rights and some real wrongs that like
Wait,
all people kind of subscribe to from like everywhere.
when you say real, are you invoking that there's like actually some
Like
like worldly
objective.
facts, or
There's like an objective. There's some like objective standards of like this is always wrong and this is always right,
what do
and
you
it's
think
almost
objective means?
like almost like a hive mind kind of thing. It's like, well, where do we
Yeah.
get this? Like, it's never okay to like bomb a children's hospital.
Ryan, what do you think? What do you think objective means? Just to be clear.
Like, so I would say it's like set in stone by God, but
That's what you
like
think
it's like
objective
agreed
means?
upon. Now you can sear your consciousness and you can sear your morality, but like
Wait, sorry. Are you gonna answer
naturally,
the question? I said, what do you mean by objective? What's your definition?
like not subjective. Like you
What do you
can't. It's
think?
not changing. It's like
Holy
set in
shit, how
stone.
informative. What do you think not subjective means?
Like set in stone. So like
What
subjective
does
would
set
be
in
like,
stone mean?
why are you giving me a quiz, bro? You know what I'm
Why
talking
don't,
about.
listen, you're like actually terrible at giving some semantical deconstruction of words, so I have to like walk you through it slowly. Now, what do you think set in stone means? Just something that's true?
Like not change. Like it's, bro. What are you
Not changing? That's what you think set in stone? Wait, so like, let's
Oh
just
wait,
say,
hold on. Let me ask you a question. Are you
wait,
genuinely
no,
trying to find evidence
just
for
calm it
God,
down.
or are you just
I know
trying
you
to
want to like run away and try to like stop this linear conversation, but just to be clear, if something that's objective, just anything that is unchanging, it appears plants change throughout time, but plants are definitely objective. Would you agree with that?
What are you saying, bro?
This guy's an idiot, dude. Holy shit. Listen, objective literally just means something that's mind independent, which just also means your opinions and emotional and mental states have no bearing on if the given thing exists or is true, okay?
Are you like reading out of a textbook?
No, I just know what it means. What?
Wait, knowing things means you're reading off of like some textbook. Are you being serious right now?
You obviously aren't, because you have no clue what you're talking about. I can affirm that.
Yeah.
You just spew nonsense. Now, just to be clear, even if I do grant objective morality, how does that posit God exists? What type of moral realism are we talking about?
Wait, hold on. You cut out.
I said, what type of objective moral facts are we trying to posit here?
Like, there's some things that are always right and always wrong. That's my point. I don't think that's that hard to grasp.
Well,
So,
even
So
if I do
you're
agree
some
with
sort of objectivist, then you believe there's like objective moral laws, just to be clear.
there's some objective moral law. Like,
Yeah, perfect.
I don't think in any.
How are we supposed to gain knowledge of these objective moral laws?
That's the thing. They're natural. Like, you don't like. I don't have to learn that it's bad to bomb a children's hospital. Like,
Wait, but some
anybody
people
can tell
think
you
it's good.
bad to bomb.
What if there's like some like schizophrenic old guy that thinks that's good?
Wait,
Well,
that's like
he would be a
also happened
schizophrenic
before,
old
so-
guy. Like,
Yeah, but then how do we determine whether or not something is good or bad? Let's say we have one person that says bombing children is bad. Some other person says bombing children is good. How do we determine the difference?
because the most people have the objective, or I would say all people, unless you sear your consciousness, have the objective like, oh, I know that this is good, and I know this is bad, and that comes to you very naturally. Like
No, it just seems to be
morality
the
comes to you
case.
very naturally.
Wait, morality? Wait, so is morality gonna be some like mind dependent thing?
What do you mean by mind dependent thing?
It needs a mind in order to exist.
Yeah, like trees don't have morality, or
Then
rocks
it's
don't have
subjective.
morality.
Then anything mind dependent is gonna be subjective. It'll be
No,
analytically
that's
true.
my point. No, listen. I see what you're saying, and you'd be right. If there is no God, you'd be right. It would be subjective. But the idea that we all have the same level of like, we all have like certain truths that like that are objective, that comes from like an objective
Oh,
mind.
you're saying that morals come
Right.
from God?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect. You know, God's still a mind.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
you know,
mind.
you
That's
know,
what I'm
no matter
saying.
what.
Our ideas of morals come from his, like, there are some
Yeah,
things that
this is
he
like some sort of
objectively
like ideal
set.
observer theory. Like you realize that when it comes to divine command theory, just following some sort of ideal observer theory. We're like, oh
Okay,
yeah,
I
I
don't know
really
what these
like
big words
this thing. I
mean,
really
bro. I
like
don't think
X,
that
so
what
I
I'm
use
saying
X
is
as
that
my
hard to
moral
grasp.
compass. This is still gonna be like a subjectivist worldview.
What?
Yes, divine command theory and ideal observer theories are both subjectivist worldviews.
Okay, I don't know what that means, bro. Like, you say this stuff.
Subjectivism.
I'm not like a philosophy
Wait, you
major.
don't know what subjective means? So you
I know what
don't?
subjective means, but you're talking about
Yeah,
like
so what do you think
ideal
subjectivism
moral
means?
theories. Do you think I've studied
Wait,
ideal moral theories?
Wait,
are you
you think
confused?
you know what subjective means, but you do not know what subjectivism is? Like, come on, it should be pretty obvious what subjectivism is in relation to morals.
Like being like moral subjectives.
Yeah, morals
Like
are
you believe
subjective.
everything is subjective.
No, just morals are
Oh
subjective.
yeah, morals are subjective. That's what when we talk about subjectivism in like a ethical sense.
So
Obviously
was
it's
the
gonna delve into
Holocaust
more.
like absolutely bad, or was it just
It was
bad because you
subjectively
think it's
bad.
bad?
It's bad because I think
So
it's bad.
it's good for the people that were doing it. Like, it's fine.
No, I don't think it's good. Like yeah, under their worldview,
Well,
it
it's
could
good
be
for
good.
them. You just don't like it.
Yeah,
It's just your
wait,
fancy.
under their view, it can be good. Under our view, it's bad.
Yeah,
Who are you to tell them that what they're doing is wrong?
I'm
because
another moral.
we're telling them about our moral framework. We're telling them about our
Yeah,
deliberations.
but why is your moral framework any better than their moral framework?
No one said it's
On this,
better.
yeah, we never said it's
So
better.
why
We
did we
never said
fight
that.
them?
Yeah, because we have different
Because
opinions
we
on the
didn't like
matter.
them. Because we didn't like their moral framework. What are we talking about? Are you like
Holy
special
So it's
education?
not wrong. It's just a different opinion.
No, it
It's
is
wrong in
wrong.
my
It's
view.
wrong under our worldview.
So
It's wrong under our worldview,
why
under
would it
our
be
paradigm.
wrong? You just think it's wrong, but it's not absolutely wrong. It's just
Under
like,
my
I
worldview,
don't
okay,
like it.
perfect.
Yeah,
I
nice
just don't like it.
observation skills there. It's what we uttered before. What are you
What's
doing?
wrong with wrong? Yeah, wait, what? And like you would say the exact same thing. Like if God told you that the Holocaust was good, then you'd have to believe that it was good, or else you'd be like rejecting the compass of all goodness. It has nothing to do with anything.
Well, God doesn't say that the Holocaust is good.
Wait, but if he did in some type of like possible world, God could say that. And it doesn't matter. We're not talking about the real world. We're talking about a possible world.
So if he said it was good, then what?
Then obviously you'd say it was going to be good. But we don't say it's good. We say it's subjectively bad.
Well, God sets the standard of objects. So my point is that like our morals, like your morals, I think that possibly both of y'all's morals line up like mostly in the scope of God's morals. Because you think
Wait,
things
this is
are
just
right and
question
wrong.
begging. What's
Because
the
you're
argument
born
God
that way.
exists?
Yeah,
What's the
this is
argument
like
God
question
exists?
begging.
begging.
What do you
And
say?
also, we get our morals from like utilitarianism, not from the Bible.
Can we move on to
We're all we're all
What'd you
type
say?
of consequentialists.
intellectual interlocutors?
You keep using these like philosophy words, bro. I'm not a philosophy student. You can
Wait,
like
what philosophy words have we currently used?
y'all are like dropping
last
these
time?
like high level vocabulary, bro.
Like what?
I'm able
What
to understand that
utilitarianism is hard?
but, like I can't.
Holy shit, you were so uneducated, buddy.
Okay, you
Bro,
know,
what are y'all talking about?
yeah, you're like so like lost in the sauce right now. You're like joining like special education. Like we're not qualified to teach special ed.
Nihilist, can
You
we
don't know
move on from this
utilitarianism.
guy?
You don't know
Can you say that again? I
consequentialism.
didn't understand
This
what
is
you said.
level zero shit.
Yeah.
Can we move on from this guy? There's like P
Yeah.
Mars or some other guy, like probably more intellectual challenges.
All right. Oh my. I'll let you
Scared.
take this one, Sensei, because it seems like you really want to debate him.
All right.
Hi,
I might. All right. Hey, P Mark. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Oh my. Okay. And then, what's the argument for God?
The transcendental argument for God.
How do you
You
express it?
familiar with that one?
I've heard of it.
Um, Basically, when we look at the world, it operates based on rules. There's like conceptual rules and there's physical rules, and they work together because God made them both. And so, without Him, there'd be like no connection between the conceptual realm and like the physical realm. So,
What do you mean by conceptual realm there?
like math or logic.
Math. Well, I'm not too sure if there even is like a conceptual realm. So I'm in an argument for that, or any justification really.
Well, that's not really controversial. Like most philosophers think that like laws of logic are conceptual and math
Do you
is
think that's a
conceptual.
response
It's not
or
really.
Yeah, I don't like when you say
what's an
conceptual.
argument?
All you mean there is like a set of mental states. Maybe I
Wait,
could
wait,
like
wait,
get
wait. So
down
you're
with that.
you're challenging something that's not controversial for no reason.
Wait, it is controversial, so just simmer down, okay? Now listen, if you're
But
just
that's not
referencing
true.
some
Whoa,
like
whoa,
sediment,
whoa, whoa,
are
whoa,
you okay?
whoa. Are
What
you,
are you
whoa,
doing?
whoa, whoa.
You
You're
okay?
challenging that logic and math are conceptual.
Let's guy going up here. Listen, you're like 40, so just active age, okay? Now, just to be clear,
Well, I'm gonna
when you
leave.
say
Like, if
like
this is what
concept,
this is
oh,
gonna
you
give me,
still
I'm just
going?
gonna
Yeah, because
leave
you're
because
spurging
this is
already.
bad
Like,
faith.
holy shit, you're
Yeah,
spurging.
Well,
you're already
no, but the
freaking out. I'm
problem
trying
is
to like
this is
understand
bad.
your
This
view.
is bad faith.
I'm trying to like clarify your
Hey,
view
whenever
so we can
someone
move
disagrees with
on.
your
It's fucking
position that you
funny.
don't think is controversial, like, oh yeah, bad faith, bad faith. Like, what kind of stupid ass response was that? Genuinely.
Well,
That's
well, it's
right.
not. I mean, you can say it's stupid, but the guy's
That's
being
why like
bad
you're
faith.
stuttering and you're
Where
stammering over your words right
I'm
now because
not.
you couldn't
I'll
think of a
just look.
response. Holy
Mars,
I'll
you're
shit.
just
just go
like saying
live.
whatever.
I'll just go live on my own channel if you're gonna be bad faith.
No,
And
here,
take
Go
no
up
do
one's
it
all
doing
of
that.
then.
my,
What?
my day.
You can
Look,
run away if
I
you
don't
want
need
to.
you. You're nothing to me, right? I'm
Here,
Yeah,
taking the
you're nothing
time
to
out of
us.
my
You're a fucking
day.
loser. You do gay
run
porn
away
for a
like
So you
living.
want me to
Lily
leave?
What
Collins.
do
Do
you
you want me to
genuinely think?
leave?
Dude, you take dick up, bro. No, I'm not okay.
Do you want me to
Bro,
leave?
you
Here,
giveth or
Mars,
receiveth
What are we
just
doing?
whenever you read Bible verses.
Do you want me to leave?
Mars, you're not carrying the lead. Like you can leave if you want to.
Yeah,
I
this
promise
isn't
you,
like
you
some
are
elite
okay.
level debating. You're like
Okay.
some
Well, are you
like
gonna be
sub
bad
IQ,
faith,
like
We've
want to
or
be
already
are you
like
gonna
intellectual,
run
right?
it
dispute?
into
So
the
like
ground
Are
obviously
you
you
gonna
can't provide an
dispute what I'm
argument. That's why you're
saying?
trying to
That's
run
not
away under like, oh
controversial.
yeah, it's not controversial.
I'm not running away. It's just like I'm
Okay,
not
then give
gonna
the
argue
argument
that
then, P
water's
Mars.
wet.
Give the argument then, P Mars.
Wait, just a clarifying question. When you say conceptual, are you just referencing mental states, or do you actually think there's some like abstract realm out there like Platonism is true?
Well, obviously, I'm a Christian, right? So I would subscribe to divine conceptualism.
Yeah, and then what's going to be the argument for that?
I'm trying to do tag. The transcendental argument for God is the
Yes.
argument for that.
Your
But I'm trying
argument
to make. I'm
presupposes
trying to
that these
make.
abstract entities
I'm
exist.
trying to make the argument, right? So the argument is about
You're
that we have
struggling.
conceptual rules.
This guy's like drunk right now, I think.
Yeah,
Listen,
The
we
argument
get
just
that. We get
presupposes
P1 of
that
the argument, or you get
conceptual
P1. We're
realms are
asking for
real
the
things.
argument of P1. Are you
All right,
being
run
for
away,
real?
buddy. Run away,
What a
little
fucking
pipsqueak.
A. Yeah, obviously we don't have to agree with your premises, right? We know what you're trying to argue. We get the argument. We know what the argument entails. When we ask for an argument for one of the premises, obviously you have to give that, or else your argument is gonna be unjustified. For anyone else like watching, like what you just witnessed was P Mars attempting to run away from actually having a good faith conversation, but instead he like started fucking like meta rambling about some irrelevant shit. Because he can't give an argument. He got bitched on infinitism. He got bitched on foundationalism. It's so pathetic.
Me, you, and Anita actually, oh my god, we did him in so badly that one time. It
This
was
is
so
like the
great.
third time I BTFO'd him.
We just held him down and raped him to like an ego death. So bad. All right, now wait. There was some other guy. I think. I don't know if he's in the guest requester.
He fucking unrequested.
Russell, come up, please. I beg you. Please,
I
please,
think I've seen
please.
Russell and Ian's lives a couple times.
Who's
He
Russell?
said we're low tier atheists, so I'm
We're
actually
low tier
pretty
atheists, buddy.
emotional.
He is not anything, bro. Holy.
I'm pretty like emotionally damaged from that, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna need like
dude.
an
Like,
apology.
I'm sick and tired of all the theists calling us low tier, man. Like, we know more than you about philosophy, man. We know even more about theology. Like, we know like 10 times more than you. So I don't know why you're calling us low tier. It's like really hurting my feelings.
GLY, I see you talking in the comments.
Come
You're
up,
more than welcome to come up. But if you're watching the stream, make sure you're double tapping on the screen, sharing with your friends. And if you want to come up to be above the age of 18 and have an argument for why God exists. All right,
Dude,
we
I
got
need
someone in
a
the guest request box.
I just
perp.
wanted to like, wait, so like, I'm not. I just wanted to ask a question about infinitism
Wait,
because,
how old are you real
About
quick?
what? About agency?
oh,
You said
I'm 21.
infinitism.
Okay, perfect.
Infinitism.
Like
Just because,
epistemic infinitism?
yeah, epistemic, yeah, yeah. Because, I assume you guys aren't foundationalists.
No.
I'm sympathetic towards foundationalism. I don't know about nihilists.
So for me,
But
like, it seems like the most intuitive to like be foundationalist because it seems like even though like I understand like people could say it's circular, but like,
That's not circular at all. That's
okay,
coherentism.
yeah. But what I'm trying to say is like why do you think you can justify knowledge with like an infinite causal chain?
Well, there's like propositional justification and there's dogmastic justification. So which one are you like talking about?
Either or. This is more just like I'm trying to learn, not necessarily
Yeah.
debate, but uh, I will I will produce questions if I don't understand it. So
I mean, I guess it really depends. Are we just using the JTB or JTB just to be clear?
sure.
Well, under at least my view, I don't think like propositions can actually be justified, but I think like dogmastically it's acceptable to be justified.
Okay, so you think that like sorry, it's just how do you define dogmastically?
All I mean there, well, it's like technically just like in relation to beliefs, but all I mean there really is just how many given things until we can actually form some belief about it and be like rational about upholding the belief.
Right. Okay. And so um so I guess your original position or what you said in general is that you don't believe that we can be justified, but then sorry, just like off like because I'm misunderstanding a lot of the language, right? Just because it's a you know what I mean.
Yep.
I guess what I'm trying to parse is that for someone who doesn't understand maybe the distinction you're trying to draw, it on face value almost seems contradictory. Obviously, I don't believe it is, but I'm just trying to see because like if you say that your belief can't ultimately be justified, but then but there is a certain amount of caught chains of reasoning that can eventually justify it. I guess as like my like
Yeah,
what exactly does
I,
that sparse?
I can like clarify. So like under like propositional justification, I would actually just agree with infinitism, like hard infinitism, that
Mhm.
you just have to really just presuppose a given thing to be true because obviously there's just like an infinite set of justifications because all the
Right.
justifications are premises or sorry propositions and
Mhm.
propositions need to be justified. So obviously, if I say like God exists because of X, Y, and Z, um, obviously if I just say X, Y, and Z is a proposition which also needs justification, it goes like back and back, and then with dogmastic justification, it's going to be till how many given beliefs or propositions till we're rational in upholding something. So I say, why do dinosaurs exist? Or no, I say dinosaurs exist because of fossils. We can go infinitely back technically, but I would just say you're rational in believing the belief to be true just based off of the fossils themselves.
Right. So I guess it okay, so like because like so if I observe fossils, like you would agree then there's depending on who observes them, there's going to be a certain amount of presuppositions in my worldview that change how I rationally come to the like basically they change the conclusion that I can rationally come to based off of the presuppositions in my worldview, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And so I guess like my argument is like, well then is truth relative then?
Well, what do you mean by relative there? I mean, it depends what theory of truth or see a theory of truth you're trying to like reference there.
Like I guess like
Well, I think
I guess
all
it's
are actually matter of
I
fact.
think about deflation is here, right? SMK, your deflationist.
No.
No, wait. What's your theory of truth?
Alethic functionalism.
Okay.
Well, I just take correspondence truths and analytical truths. I don't really like uphold any other type of truths out there.
okay. I mean I think that's a fair like um what's it called? Um what's it called? Like a fair way of viewing it. I think what I often struggle with is that just intuitively, right? Like so, like not even just like intuitively, it does seem like there would be some sort of logic or reasons that the world operates in a way that is uh, like logical is probably maybe not the best way to put it, but you know what I mean, right? Like basically systems that the natural world um, follows, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily though that if you as an atheist like say that you that it therefore follows that God exists. And so I think like I don't know. I think like obviously you run into a lot of other philosophical questions and um that you have to answer under that type of worldview, right? But like it doesn't follow therefore a God because the world follows these natural laws or even if they're objective in some sort of way, right? So
Um,
unless like you or what would you say that they necessarily follow or
what wouldn't necessarily follow, but I think like what you're saying is fine.
because like I guess like one a big presupposition in my worldview at least is naturalism, and
Yeah.
I don't think and I feel like naturalism is just really parsimonious with all of like all empiric
Empirical endeavor.
endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it just seems to be like the most rational to me. And so I think if I did like these debates, I would end up like being just arguing over like for my worldview instead of like a neutral or like you know what I mean, basically like a infinitist position. Like although I think you could technically also justify it under that way too, but it's just yeah. I don't think it's intuitive for a lot of people, is what I'm trying to say.
It was intuitive for me personally. If you have
Oh,
any
okay.
other questions, you could ask like John. I think he might like have a slightly different stance on infinitism than I do.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I didn't want to waste your time. If there's another guest
No,
or
it's
who
fine.
you guys can bring up,
Wait,
that'd be
can you
cool.
just repeat your
Oh,
comfort fanaticism? I'm not paying attention. I'm scrolling on TikTok right now.
Russell, you said it's not something controversial. I think the issue is that I don't care about whether or not something is widely accepted. Like, I'm not a pragmatist. I don't think like the truthfulness of something is whether or not it's widely accepted.
True.
So I don't know why controversialness is how we determine whether or not we should accept a premise.
Um,
And I think maybe if you address that question, maybe you will start
even
questioning.
even so, what PMR said earlier, that being that there's some kind of like abstract realm, that is pretty controversial because there's like
Yeah,
a
it
bunch of
really is.
materialist
For sure,
philosophers that
yeah.
just like outright
Mhm.
deny that. That's like super controversial. That
No,
concept
it's
some sort of
extremely.
conceptual reality. We don't know what he means by conceptual reality, right? He could mean like some sort of
Yeah,
like mental states. He could mean like an actual like conceptual reality, right? And I think of whether he means will determine whether or not it's controversial. I'm thinking he means like some sort of like reality that's like only made up of conceptual things, in which the materialists would obviously just like reject this. It's gonna be
no,
super
for sure.
controversial.
Yeah, well, like that's what I was going to say is that
Yeah,
well, when
it
he was
is super
talking, I was like
controversial.
thinking that immediately. So,
Yeah. Um.
so
But
I think that was kind of dumb for him to say that it wasn't controversial. Like
I
maybe
can't
I
read
was trying
these
to give him
gifs.
I was trying to give him like the benefit of the doubt that maybe he was saying like the concept that logic is objective is not controversial. I think a lot of people take that to be a fact, even though like they may not be able to justify it. So I like maybe that's what he was saying, but I don't know. Like uh, I try to I try to view things from their perspective sometimes, but it's kind of hard because it's like yeah, because like it's like what are you actually trying to say here?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yep.
is there
You can
something
give
No,
that
him.
there's no one in the box right now.
No, you're good. No one at this present moment. Yeah, but now I think it's a good time to remind everyone, to keep on liking, press that follow button, share with your friends, get out to the FIP interview with you as long as the proof theism is true. Feel free to request right up, and we'll accept you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that better, John?
LeBron James, do you think we need 100% evidence of anything? Like maybe it's reasonable to suspect a God. Maybe come up and just say it's reasonable. If you have an argument, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. You think that they'd come up to talk about it, but they won't.
I don't know why non-philosophically inclined people love spewing out 100% or certainty. Like that shit's so trivial. Like obviously,
Yeah,
100% fucking certain.
it's about. To me, it's all about what is reasonable to conclude.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Fanta, we had Monkey Boy up here earlier. Well, no,
Oh, what
he
was he
was
saying?
just on the panel for a little bit talking to theists. Been
Yeah.
doing a bit
Oh,
of
sick.
LARPing.
That's actually awesome.
You.
Yeah.
LARPing. That's
Yeah.
funny. All the evidence
Monkey
is
Boy
reference points. Okay, wait.
hasn't
So
followed me
LeBron,
back.
if God is reasonable, can we come up here? Request. You can talk to Sensei and Nihilus and
Yeah,
everyone.
come on, LeBron James. We can come have a conversation, and if
Hey,
you aren't
John.
intellectually gifted, then we're just gonna rhetorically and philosophically grape you in front of everyone watching.
Sure.
Or who knows? Like maybe you'll come up here and just change my ways, and then I'll immediately become Christian, and I'll go to church on Sundays, and holy crap, everything will change. Come on, you need to save some lives here.
We celebrate
Wait, hold up.
Lent.
I think Fanta, but you said something. Have you not heard? Have you not accepted the truth of Catholicism yet?
No, I
You
have
don't
not
want the
actually.
Eucharist every week?
No, I'm sorry. I'm a Calvinist, and
Oh
y'all
yeah.
fucked.
Well,
Bro, this is so sad not having
yeah.
people up
This
here.
is.
All right,
LeBron James, what does your
this
Bible say about
We're gonna end this
impersonating
in
people?
15 minutes if it. No one else is gonna come up.
oh yeah, we obviously already right, but when we have intellectual dishonest people like you, it makes it very hard for us to change your beliefs because you guys have zero
Yeah.
substance at all.
Yeah, Matt, I'm completely ready to change my beliefs. I
Yeah.
want to believe what is most reasonable to believe, so I'm definitely ready.
100%. 100%.
What I believe is different than how I choose to act based off of those beliefs, and yet I don't know if you can separate those two. Like, if you convince me of a God, right, then I will believe in a God, right? The question on whether or not I act on that knowledge is a totally different question altogether.
Yeah. But if
I don't need proof. All I need is faith in in the relationship I have with Jesus. It's finished. Amen to that. No, definitely not. You're just
Faith a good epistemic
you just
standard?
admitted you're an irrational person. You don't
Yeah,
use
exactly.
reason. You don't use logic. Admit to everyone
If
how much of a regard you are.
imagine I was told hey, um my imagine I was explaining why I went to go kill the family of five in the house next door, and the police officer was like, well, why did you why did you do it? And I said, oh well, they're aliens that came to invade the human race and poison all of us. And they're like, well, how do you know this? How do you know this? I just said, oh, it's faith. Right, this is not a good standard to know things. So I don't know, come up here and defend that faith is a good epistemic standard, or maybe have a better
yeah.
standard for your beliefs or what you claim to know.
Yeah, they just like to be keyboard warriors and not actually come provide, justification, which is fine, but
So LeBron, I would ask chances. How do we measure the chance of something? How would you go about measuring the chance that something would happen? How do you know the chances that an apple will fall from the tree, for example? How do you even know that an apple can fall from a tree? You address these questions, and then you'll actually start to understand how the world fucking works.
I know for a
Because
fact he has fucking no knowledge on probability theory.
I
Zero.
know, fucking Bayesian probability has to be. You have to demonstrate the possibility before it can be probable.
I fuck with Bayesian probability theory.
Yeah, same. It's my favorite.
You know his updating thing? What makes like a given thing more probable? Or like
I
more
do not.
rational to uphold? Hold up. This thing is a faggot, dude. Holy shit. It's just saying once we just gain more evidence about a given phenomena, the probability just increases.
That makes sense. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
You have Discord, I can send you the example.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is
Wait,
there
I'm
like
playing.
DMs on here? I think I can DM you.
Alright, yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, if you're watching, make sure you're double
Anyways,
tapping on that screen, sharing with your friends, doing all that good stuff. And if you want to have a conversation with either me or any of the other panelists, all I ask is that you are above the age of 18 and you bring an argument for why God exists.
LeBron, like, can you just like answer this one question? Like, I like maybe you can convince me otherwise, but to me, before something is probable, it has to be demonstrated to be possible. Do you agree?
I don't even know if this guy can spell possible.
Yeah, that might not work for him. I wish that we could get somebody who's
Damn.
like
All right.
Christian.
Oh, when I said half, I said wait, if I'm not saying y'all believe in B theory, correct?
John does, I think.
What's your point about B theory of time, Matt? Also, LeBron, I said in order to measure the probability of something, we first have to demonstrate that it's possible. Do you agree? So you're saying that it's probable God exists because of these reasons, right? But you haven't even demonstrated that God is possible. So what I'm asking is, do you agree that for something to be probable, right, the probable cause of something would have to be demonstrated to be possible first? For example, I'm not going to believe that the reason why an apple fell from a tree is because death himself exists as a bodiless entity, and he takes his imaginary scythe, but it's actually real, and he cuts it from the tree every time an apple falls, right? You understand that, right? Like something has to be demonstrated to be possible before it's probable that it happened that way. Okay, so you understand what possibility means, right? Like the possibility of something existing, the possibility of something happening. Like, for example, one of the possibilities of an apple for the reason why an apple falls from the tree is gravity. Okay, so if we agree then that we can demonstrate the possibility of gravity being a possible outcome for why the or a possible cause for why the apple falls from the tree, right? Do you agree that possibilities need to be demonstrated? Like you need to show that the possibility can occur in reality. It's a fact. Right, but when I'm okay, so imagine we're like investigating, let's say like we see an apple tree and we see these apples fall, or that are on the ground, right? And we know that it's an apple tree because there's apples in the tree, right? And we know like the concept of apples falling to the ground, but we're trying to figure out why this has happened, right? And so we could posit like the possibility of an apple, right, falling to the ground due to gravity, right, or the wind, right? We can demonstrate these possibilities in reality, right? And so if we're trying to measure the probability of like why this specific apple fell from the tree, at this specific moment or whatever, we could theoretically try to figure out like okay, well, what was the wind like at this time, like how fast was it blowing, and blah blah blah, and then come to like a rational conclusion, right, based off of all known evidence, right, about why this apple fell from the tree. And so all I'm asking you to do, right, is show that God could be a possible reason, right, for that apple to fall from the tree, as symbolically. You know what I mean? Like I'm not necessarily that God himself causes apples to fall from trees. I'm just saying like in general, like as the way to like simplify it for you. Because you can't talk about the probability of God until you demonstrate the possibility. Right? Like if you came up to me and suggested that the apple fell from the tree because of, I don't know, hairpins, I'd be like, well, what the fuck do you mean? You know what I mean? You have to demonstrate that it's possible that an apple could fall because of a hairpin you're holding. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. So to me, right, you have to demonstrate the possibility, like the cause, like the link, right, in order to show that it's even probable to begin with. How do you know that there are no other outcomes, LeBron? Sorry, I wasn't reading your message. How do you know there are no other outcomes other than the apple fell from gravity? Like, how do you know that? Can you tell me with absolute certainty that there isn't some sort of demon who took it off? There's some sort of other force that we have not been able to observe or measure that causes it? Maybe the apples are conscious and actually decide themselves when they fall, and doesn't have anything to do with gravity. Right. Okay. So what you're suggesting, right, is that we have a theory of gravity, right, that we can measure, observe, and demonstrate, right? Would you agree? And therefore, the most reasonable conclusion is that it's due to gravity that the apples fall. Is that I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you're saying, right? Would you agree with how I phrased it? Okay. So you realize though that we've demonstrated gravity, right? And we can show its effect on things like other than apples. We can show its effect in general, right? And so we could make an argument for why the most reasonable conclusion is that gravity was the cause. So before, right, you demonstrate that God is the most reasonable conclusion for the world or the universe, you have to demonstrate first that he's even a possibility.
Well, it seems that we're.
Wait, he's still lost on this?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you understand, LeBron? Have I converted you to atheismo yet?
I
What were
was
you
just
gonna
gonna
say,
say I'm
Niles?
probably gonna end it since like
Sorry.
no one's requesting up.
All right.
Sorry if
No,
I
you're
keep on
good.
scaring
You're
them
good.
away.
It's
I'm
been
sorry.
stale for a little bit anyways, so but yeah.
Okay. I think I got to go
Yeah, you're
anyways in like
good.
15 minutes or so. Okay, but you agree though that like okay, so wait, hold on. Do you want to come? Wait, I guess you said you were a teenager, so I don't know what that means. Are you 19 or 18? Because you could just easily request on up, and then we can't prove something supernatural if we were natural, right? Okay, so you agree like you or it seems like you understand the issue with proving supernatural things in a naturalistic sense, right? So why do you believe in the supernatural? Because if you can't prove supernatural things, right, then why would you say that it's reasonable or demonstrate supernatural things? And why would you say it's reasonable to even suggest or even believe that they exist?
Yeah, Matt, if you join the Discord,
Due to evidence of Jesus, geographical evidence of things that happened in the Bible shows that Jesus. Okay, so if Jesus is real, right, and he rose from the dead, how do we know it didn't happen due to natural reasons? Wouldn't it be more reasonable? We know natural reasons exist, right, for things, right, that like we know things that are natural happen all the time that we can't explain, right? Would you agree? For a long time, we attributed the planets and the stars to gods, right? But these are all natural things that can be explained naturally. So why should I not just assume that Jesus is just maybe was like a really ahead of his time scientist who knew how to like raise himself from the fucking dead, right? He just knew all these natural laws, right? And he tried to use that power to manipulate his knowledge to manipulate the uneducated masses, right? Maybe it's not reasonable to suspect that, but wouldn't it be more reasonable to suspect that than magic? Right? When a magician goes on stage, why is it more reasonable to suspect that stage tricks, right, than it is real magic?
yeah. I'm probably just gonna end it here. We've been alive for 3 hours, and Matt, I'll hop in a Discord call with you after. If John and Sensei want to as well, I'm sure they will. Um, but yeah, thanks everybody who joined. Thanks Fanta for coming up. It was nice. It was nice chatting and
Yeah.
everything. And thanks for all the gifts, and thanks for being here. Hope to see you guys again next time.
Have a good one.